Thank you for checking out the Pinfall Wrap-Up. I am your host, Andrew Caracci, alongside
Robert Roth.
And Rob, what do we have in store tonight?
Alright, tonight we have a review of the January 4th edition of Monday Night Raw and some news from the world of professional wrestling that our friend Patrick, Kevin, Justin will be covering. And then also Andrew has some info about our show on YouTube.
Hooray. So what that means is actually our show is now featured on YouTube. Pretty much it's the entire show minus our wonderful intro, considering YouTube likes to flag us. And yeah, there you go. Patrick, say some words.
Say some words, like how many times we were downloaded this week?
Yeah.
Well, our numbers are definitely up from last week. We had 19 downloads and 16 plays.
It's the new microphone. I'm convinced.
It's the new year.
Oh, that too. This is going to be the year of the wrap-up.
Hooray. Well, Monday Night Raw was a thing. It was on TV today, and I couldn't wait to watch it again. Rob, how's it feel to be back on the program after being, dead?
Dead, sick, and work. But no, it feels good. I'm glad to be back. I hate missing these, but sometimes work life interferes with podcast life, and there's no time for thug life.
Only if you allow it to be. Day-Day is not here again this week. He will be back next week. Hooray for that. And then...
Who cares?
You just have a thing with him, don't you?
Whatever.
It's like the beat. It's like, when jobbers have their little rivalries, and at the end of the day, no one really gives a fuck if there's ever a conclusion to it because they're jobbers. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Anyway.
So...
I'm the Brock Lesnar of the podcast. I just want to make that clear. You are Heath Slater.
How are you the Brock Lesnar?
You are Heath Slater / Fandango. And Day-Day is possibly...
Adam
I don't know.
Rose.
I'd say he is...
Adam Rose.
He's mid-card. I'd give him maybe a...
You give him more credit than me?
I don't know.
Give him a Shelton Benjamin-ish. Maybe. If we're going with current guys, I'm not sure where we go. Maybe like Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, I'd say Dean Ambrose possibly.
Give him more credit
I'd probably
than me?
say Heath's... Fandango.
How can you
I'd say
give Day-Day
Fandango.
more credrit than me?
You... I don't know. I'd say Undertaker for you.
I'm like the main event of this podcast.
So we're going to say...
I'm going to call you Sheamus.
Sheamus. Like the guy who's just here and then will be gone later.
Yeah. So...
No, Marcus is Sheamus.
We're going to give Jared Darren Young. Jared is the Darren Young. So if you're listening, Jared...
He's not.
You're... Okay, well...
Neither is Day-Day, so you can call him whoever you wanted.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with mid-card because it pisses you off. But yeah, so we'll say Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, and you just... Nah. You are about to enjoy your future endeavors. The WWE wishes you luck. So...
Pretty close.
Your profile has just been removed from WWE.com. You are now alumni.
Your liquid profile don't mean shit. That's what it comes down to.
What? Why? No.
You've just been Hulk Hogan from WWE.com.
CM Punk's from the WrestleMania Undertaker edition?
Yep.
Okay.
So anyways, with that news... a lot of you have been asking, and by a lot I mean none of you, have been asking about our award show that I think every podcast seems to do now. Ours is going to be before WrestleMania rather than at the end of the year, considering the real wrestling year is WrestleMania to WrestleMania. You don't give out MVP awards in the NFL in December. You give it at the end of the season, which sometimes is in the middle of January. So with that said, that we'll have our award show then. We are also going to have our first ever Pinfall Wrap-Up Fantasy Wrestling Draft, which will be the show after the Royal Rumble show. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully our show doesn't get canceled by that point. And, that's all I got. Patrick, you got anything?
I do not.
Surprising. So with that, let's move into Monday Night Raw, shall we?
Yeah.
So Stephanie McMahon came out, and actually Roman Reigns came out instead. Roman Reigns cuts her off. This was just not a really good segment at all. And then Roman Reigns threatens Stephanie McMahon that he's going to kill Vince, but by killing him, he means sending him to the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, overall, at least you can look at it and say it wasn't one of the 25-minute long opening segments, or at least it didn't feel like it. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's nice not having like your long, boring, heel-heavy authority entrance. At least like they're having the face out there right away, and the face is still coming off strong. Before it was just every week it was opening up with the authority just crushing and burying whoever, and then it was what it was. So overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad opening segment to Raw, in my opinion, anyway. How do you feel about that, Kevin Justin?
Well, I mean, it was alright. I just thought it was dumb that they were taking shots at each other's dads.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to, make it seem personal and real, so. Yeah, I mean, it's WWE storytelling right now, so.
Yeah, Stephanie just basically says, I'm going to treat you how my daddy treated your daddy, and then Roman's just like, well, I'm just basically going to hurt your dad.
They used the same thing last week. It's just something with the WWE and just like with this story. It seems like they have an idea how they want it to end. There's just too many weeks building up to it, so they're gonna have to drag on things, drag it on, and that's what we kind of saw tonight. I thought overall that this segment was a kind of whatever segment. I'm not sure if I felt like it belonged or it should have been in there. I mean, I guess it could have been a lot better. But is it just me, or is Stephanie McMahon like bad now? Just like her promos over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're not what they at one time were, but she still gets a lot of heel heat. So I mean, right now she kind of comes off like she's coasting, but she seemed kind of under the weather or something tonight. Didn't she? Her voice was a little bit raspy.
A lot of swelling in her chest.
Well, that's what our pornographic friend Kevin noticed, but
noticed it. You threw it out there first.
Yeah, well, sure. We can't prove that on the podcast, but no, definitely. Maybe she's just under the weather lately. I don't know. And then where was Triple H? I guess would be my other thing, but
that was another thing. I know, where was John Cena on this show?
Yeah, that's another good point. John Cena was not on tonight's Raw at all, so he was kind of doing a one and done, I guess, or something. Or maybe they're just trying to keep him out of the spotlight for now and kind of focus everything on Roman Reigns. I mean,
another thing that's been kind of interesting. What's been going on is you have John Cena, who had his feud with Del Rio. He's not on Raw tonight. They announced that Brock Lesnar is going to be on Raw next week. And you have a weird announcement that we'll get to later on in the show. But it's just, like I said, I don't know what their plans are going forward now, considering how the show ended.
Yeah, I guess we'll kind of get into it at the end of the show, but I feel like the ending of tonight's Raw was unplanned. I think this was something that Vince dropped at the very last minute, which wouldn't really be that difficult to believe because, well, we'll get into it. We
might as well just cover it now, I guess, at that point, because we always tend to right when you get to the main event, we kind of skim over it all the time. So, what happened was, I guess, you had Vince McMahon at the end of the show announcing that the Royal Rumble is going to be for the WWE title.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way it came off, you have to kind of break it down and think about it. Usually, the announcers, the three-man team, have Vince McMahon, as Mick Foley put it, screaming in his ear. That's true, though. Vince McMahon and the producers are giving the commentating team talking points, essentially, during the show. What to say if they're going in a direction they don't want. Change the direction. They're feeding them their lines pretty much, and they have a script in front of them kind of guiding them along too, but they're being guided through their earpiece. Vince McMahon is the main one doing that. Vince McMahon was refereeing the final match of the night, which was a WWE Championship match between Sheamus and Roman Reigns. So considering Vince McMahon was out in the middle of the ring, he couldn't feed them talking points. The match ended. Vince McMahon was kind of mad or whatever because Roman Reigns retained the championship through a bunch of bullshittery. And he just kind of at the last minute said, well, it's one against all, right? You're going to be defending your title against 29 other men in the Royal Rumble. So the WWE Championship is on the line at the Royal Rumble. The commentary team did not know how to react to that. Michael Cole just outright said, what? And it wasn't like his plan staged what. They sounded really confused by it. And then you could tell they kind of got their shit together and they ended up like fixing it at the end, but they seemed stunned. There was silence and then confusion, and then they got their shit together. So it wasn't like they had a script ready to go when he said that, like you would expect them to have. Like they really seemed shocked, and you could kind of tell the fake shock from the real shock. That seemed like real surprise.
Michael Cole even said, like, immediately when that was said, like, you had the pause and the shock. He's like, I think that's only happened one time in history, which meaning he wasn't quite sure if it did, because he didn't say, like, this has only happened once. And he didn't really know who the winner was, because normally they would, like, JBL would be like, it was Ric Flair or Jimmy Bucket Tooth Teeth Fuckerhead.
Well, yeah, I mean, they kind of use JBL as the person that is supposed to be, like, the fact person.
Right.
Like, that's how he's used. And no one had the facts ready on that one. So, again, if that was something they were going to do, they would have those facts ready for JBL on a sheet. So he could say, in 1996 at the 3.5 hour point, he'd have some really obscure point that he'd be making, and that didn't happen. So
are you saying on the Pinfall Wrap-Up that Vince McMahon probably made this up at the end of the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Are we starting our own dirt sheet here?
I don't think it's really a dirt sheet. It's just kind of, it's obvious. To me, at least, it's obvious it happened. He couldn't prepare the announcers, of course. So the only way to get it out there was, boom, just say it.
I'm sure we will be seeing this surfacing in the dirt sheets in the next couple of days, and we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, I didn't actually think of it like that, but the way that you're explaining it, yeah, I can totally see it. Vince McMahon, even last week, went on like he said Happy New Year like 15 times.
And that's the thing. Everything he does isn't scripted.
Right.
Because the script for the show is his mind. So when he's actually out there, no one knows what's going to happen. And no one can be prepared for what he's going to do because no one knows what he's going to do because he operates off of no script. So when he says things, when he does things, they have to just kind of sit back and all they have is the producer kind of in their ear like, I guess let him say this. I think that's what Vince would want. And, that's kind of how it goes. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get more into the match later, but I just thought we should cover that right away because I think that's the most important thing. With that going forward, is Roman Reigns going to retain the title at the Royal Rumble? Are they going to really have him retain it?
I kind of put a little bit of thought into this. There's a lot of ways out because now they put this out there. Vince probably, in the spur of the moment, thought, great idea. Probably immediately regretted it. A lot of ways out of this match. You could have a match that would determine at what point he enters the Royal Rumble, at which point he is definitely going to retain. If he loses the match, he's number 1. If he wins the match, he's number 28 or whatever. 29. That's the obvious way they'll do it. Or they could have a match where, by the way, now the title's not on the line. I mean, they're going to think of some kind of bullshit way to get around that, so I'm not really too concerned. It's not like they did this and it's a final thing. They're going to unfuck it up now, so.
One thing they could do is, like you say that Triple H needs one more title. Mm-hmm. What if he makes his return at the Rumble, wins this Rumble, becomes the champion, and then maybe have this Roman Reigns beat him at the next pay-per-view or even the next night on Raw? Would be another thing they could do.
Well, at that rate, they're going to have another John Cena where you have like instantly a 17-time world champion.
Right. And then Roman Reigns would be a 3-time world champion, and then WrestleMania against Lesnar? Is that where they're going with this?
You think they're going to do that? Again?
I don't know. I really...
2 in a row? I mean, their last one was good. I liked that match.
It would make sense just because the Royal Rumble winner doesn't look like he's going to be main eventing the WrestleMania this year.
It depends. It depends who they bring back in that time. I think it's going to be an unknown. Like, I think it's going to be someone that we wouldn't see coming, but once it happens, it's going to make sense. So I'm not even going to make a prediction as to what the main event is going to be at this point, because they're shuffling the deck a lot right now, and it feels like they're building towards something really big, really early. So I don't know.
If you had to put, say, your life savings on the line, like this is something you have to do, otherwise you're going to be like raped in front of children in a humane society.
Wow, this is important.
So, like, that's what's on the line.
With my life savings on the line.
Right. So you could either be homeless and have no money or raped. Take your pick.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. So, like, you're putting, like, everything on the line here. So, like, you have to put something on the line. What is your WrestleMania main event? Like, this is, like, your smart money pick. What is it?
Roman Reigns is going to be in there.
Clearly.
Obviously. There's no other choice there. The Rock. I'll say Roman Reigns
versus The Rock.
Yep.
I'm going to say Roman Reigns Lesnar, just because I think that's...
I don't think they're going to do it again.
That's the easiest thing. I don't see Lesnar face The Undertaker again. And I think the only person Lesnar could face is The Rock, and that could be really bad for The Rock, considering he's kind of old, and I don't know if he wants to be thrown around like that, because Lesnar's kind of rough.
Same age as Big Show?
Yeah,
but
Big Show... Yeah, but The Rock has, like, other obligations. He's got movies, he's got that kind of stuff. Why would he come back and do a match with someone who's a kind of... I don't want to use the word careless, but a little bit more rough than... Say if The Rock did a match against John Cena, it's a pretty safe match. Or if The Rock... They should do that again 3 times in a lifetime.
No, I could see The Rock and Roman Reigns. And then Reigns getting the push, or the rub, I should say, from The Rock.
Oh, because that'd be so awesome, because we haven't seen that before.
You saw it at the Royal Rumble last year, but not the right way.
Right.
So that was the jam down our throat way.
Are they going to maybe bring Rock back almost heelish, like as Vince's buddy, and Vince is sending The Rock to get the title back?
I think they would do it more along the lines of they're pitting The Rock against Roman Reigns, but The Rock doesn't really want to. Like, so it's going to be lame. Up.
So it's going to be lame.
Face on face.
Right.
But it would draw.
It would draw.
And if Reigns wins it, that would give him...
He'd retain.
Yeah, he would. If he retains the title, that would be a pretty huge rub. So,
Another match I've seen, which is kind of what my prediction was like 2 weeks ago, would have been Cena. Just do a Cena Reigns match, and then you could turn Cena heel then at that point, or you could turn Cena heel soon, because you really go forward with Roman Reigns as your top face, and he needs a top heel to feud with to really put him over.
Do you get the feeling Cena doesn't want to be there anymore?
Yeah, and I could see them just turning him. He might be like, "Hey, my character's stale. I want to do something different."
Which he should have said 10 years ago.
I'm sure he has. I'm sure he said a lot, but he might not be fully committed to it now than he was 10 years ago, where he was just like company first. I understand, kind of liked being in the spotlight. Not saying that he doesn't like being in the spotlight, but in a time where he wants to get a better, like he wants to put on good matches and be like that guy that people look back on as like, wow, he really put that guy over. Like how people look at The Undertaker now. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone looks at The Undertaker and be like, oh, that guy just buried a bunch of guys. Like they give Triple H that reputation. I don't know if John Cena cares what his reputation is, but I feel like when they make DVDs on him after he's retired, they want to have, like, this is the guy who put a guy over. He made Roman Reigns a star. Like, people look at Triple H and say he made Cena a star, even though that's total bullshit. Because, realistically, Undertaker is the one who actually put Cena over. But JBL's the one who put him over on the main event. But he doesn't get that kind of credit. So, you think he would take the credit for it. But yeah, so I could see something like that. And the ratings have been bad. That would make the ratings very good. And there's a lot of guys Cena could feud with down the road. You could even do your rematch between Cena and Rock down the road if you want to do that SummerSlam. If Rock's going to be at SummerSlam. Who knows?
Yeah. At first I didn't think The Rock was actually going to wrestle at WrestleMania.
I still don't know if he is or not.
I feel like he might. I feel like he might. Pretty strong on that one. They announced super early he was going to be there. He's been promoting it nonstop.
He announced super early he was going to be there.
Yeah.
Not WWE.
Well,
he
they
announced
ended
it
up
way
coming
before,
out.
right. They came out way after the fact, but Rock came out way early.
Yeah, and then Jericho, who also made a return tonight on Raw, which I kind of feel like that's a big shock or a big thing anymore because he kind of floats in and out. You know,
It sounds like
pleases.
this time he's going to be around a little longer than the last
He
couple of
tweeted
times.
out, though, that he's not going to be part of Mania.
He might change. That might change. That
Yeah,
might have been, he's done that before.
Like, he tweeted that out like 3 times, and I don't know. I mean, irrelevant. Yeah, he tweets a lot, and he could change that, but he explicitly tweeted out that he was going to be probably coming back soon, but they wouldn't be a part of Mania. So he kind of gave that one away on his own. So
he's done that before. Even like in 2000 when he came back in 2007, he said he had no interest of coming back and wasn't going to come back. He said that for a very, very long time. I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook. I don't know what was the thing back then, or online.
MySpace.
The
2007
online things. But he came back and it was a complete shocker. No one really expected it, and he was. A lot of people were thinking, well, how long is he around for? He was around for like 3 years. So maybe Jericho, is going to be around a little longer than his last couple of stints.
Let's say 3 years puts him at almost 50.
Well, I'm not saying he'll be around for 3 years, but long enough where he can have established feuds with guys and be part of a roster.
And there's a guy who consistently puts everyone over. I mean,
right,
to his detriment, like to the point where like he's probably ruining. No, he's not ruining, but he dampens his credibility now. Like to the point, like I mean, think Fandango at WrestleMania, like damn, like most guys, absolutely not. I'm not putting him over. Sure, why not? You're paying me, and he's even said as much on his podcast. He doesn't care because they're paying him and they're telling him what to do. They're the boss. Okay, sure, I'll put him over. Sure, I'll put him over. Like I give him credit for it, but it almost gets to the point where it's foolish. You need to win a little bit too, but
to establish your credibility.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just coming back to lose constantly, like, wow. But I'm glad he's back.
Right, I'm happy he's back. I think it's gonna. I don't know who they're gonna have him feud with. It sounds like he's just did a thing with the Royal Rumble, and that's about it. I'm kind of hoping we get something different with Jericho this time.
Oh, the Wyatts.
We're gonna do that again.
Yeah, let's do the Wyatts. No, I'm kidding.
Let's. How about we do like Jericho? I mean,
CM Punk.
Maybe heal him up. I mean, when he came back. Remember when he came back a few years ago? I want to say the first time not the 2007 return. I know it's kind of lame when you're talking about how many different returns he's had because he's had more than anybody.
Oh yeah, he does like on average 2 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the 2011 return when he was gone for a while, or 2012 return when he feuded with Punk, he came back as a babyface and immediately like turned heel right away. So maybe we'll get that. I don't think so, but I like to see something different done with Jericho this time instead of him just kind of coming back and putting Ryback over.
When he came back on the latter part of last year, he was teaming with Reigns Ambrose against the Wyatts.
Right.
When they were doing the whole family against family thing, and he was like the surprise person who came out. He came back for one match, one night.
Yeah. And
then he like bumped into Ambrose and was like going heel, which you brought up earlier.
Right.
And like was completely just an asshole. And
that was never seen again.
Now, everything's okay, and that's fine, but that would have been interesting. That would have been an interesting little angle where Jericho is just, too big for, the locker room and the people and doesn't give a fuck about them. That would have been interesting. It would have been kind of like how when The Rock was in the early 2000s, the way The Rock came back for now, he's a movie star and he's,
you already have that built-in storyline from him, like how maybe some fans are irritated that he comes and goes a lot. Well, he can use that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was already bringing up a lot of reality in his promo about the ratings being down, live attendance being, in the shitter, where they're giving away tickets like WCW did back when they were right before they decided to stop doing live events. he brought all that up on TV. It was like, wow.
Right, he could be like that. I'm going to be the reason why WWE gets better, and maybe that creates a little bit of like Dean Ambrose is like, I've been here. You left me hanging on that match. Or I don't know if you have him go against Ambrose, but I think that'd be the obvious guy to have him feud with after he's done with his feud with Owens. But I think what's going to end up my prediction, or what I think is going to happen, is going to probably the feud with Owens. That's going to be my guess after Owens is done with Ambrose, because they're going to do the heel face. Because they did a couple of matches like on house shows, and they did the one show. What was the one in Japan or something? Like, not Japan, but one of the shows. Was it the Beast in the East one or something like that?
Yes.
Didn't he do a match against Kevin Owens in that?
Yeah.
So that. I don't think it was that, because that's when he defended the title against Balor. There was another. Was it the Madison Square Garden one?
Was it? Yeah, because there was the one where he was against the Big Show. The Beast in the East one, Brock Lesnar was going up against Kofi Kingston or some whatever, and that was fine. No, the Madison Square Garden one, the Big Show versus... Brock Lesnar was the main event. Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens was in there too.
Right.
Yeah. That was one of the lead-up matches.
Right. So...
Yeah, I knew it was one of the Brock Lesnar specials. I just couldn't remember which one. So that was on the Go to Hell tour or whatever the hell it was. So.
How could we forget about that? So, I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting things that could happen in the next couple of weeks with Jericho and with anything else. But I guess with that, we should move into our first contest, and that was Kevin Owens versus Adrian Neville. And I said pretty much kind of like whatever. Neville did his things and that kind of stuff, but it was nice to see Kevin Owens get a clean victory.
Yeah.
He has been losing too much.
But then they kind of squandered that after the match.
Right. I wrote good finish, at least the match-wise, and then obviously Ambrose puts Owens through a table. Even Stevens booking, I guess, is the way to put it, as JR would say. I know how much you love him. So, he would be right. That would be even.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even booking. It's dumb. Another thing is Ambrose didn't have a match tonight either.
It's a good point. He did not.
Kind of weird. We had a lot of guys. We had Cena not have a match. Ambrose didn't have a match. But we got this match instead. Stardust versus Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, that's what everyone tuned in for. I'm not even going to talk about it.
I wrote on my notes, why was this a thing?
Since Stardust and Titus O'Neil are both on the lower card, this one falls to Justin. Where he resides. So if you want to cover this match...
Yeah, this one.
Wow.
I'm taking a break on this one. It's all up to you, Kevin.
It's all up to me.
Tell us about this match and tell us what you thought.
About this match? For being two shitty superstars, it wasn't an awful match.
Okay. Why was it not awful?
Hold on, Andrew. I'm about to fall asleep. Wake me up when he's done.
Really? You guys aren't going to help me at all on this match. It was they chain wrestled pretty well. Otherwise, besides it not making any sense to any story at all, why was it on TV? That's basically it.
And feud-wise, is this a thing? Is there a reason why these guys are feuding? Are they feuding? Was it a random match?
They've been feuding for weeks upon weeks, but nobody's paid attention.
Are you kidding? They've been feuding? Really? That's a thing?
It's been back and back. I mean,
what
ever since Stardust tried to cut a promo and Titus O'Neil came into his promo and goes, "You got a nice room here," and then yelled at him, and then they had a match, and that was back in the end or early November or something.
Huh.
So these two have been the bottom of the bottom feud for that long.
Here's the real way to break this match down. There is no real story leading into this match. They took time away from two or possibly more superstars that could have had an actual match that the crowd would be into. Meanwhile, probably 300,000 people tuned out, and out of the 300,000 people that tuned out of this match, probably 2/3 of them never tuned back in. Because they were like, wow, they're actually doing this, and they just fucking left. Because if I wasn't watching the show in order to do this podcast, I would not have tuned back in after that. And now you're talking about someone who actually likes wrestling and used to enjoy Raw to death. So That's the reality of what they just did there. They've just cost, and that's the beginning of the show. You don't do that in the beginning of the show. Like, I even commented, like, we have 2.5 hours in front of us yet, and they put on a match like that. How are you supposed to be engaged in the entire show if you did that?
Now, based off of the story that these two have, Kevin's right. This is actually a thing.
Yeah, for like WWE main event or superstars.
No, it's been covered
SmackDown?
It's been kind of somewhat covered on Raw. Like
no,
little
like,
segments here and there.
As in, shouldn't this be like a feud that's like carrying on Raw, not their prime show?
This shouldn't be a match.
Exactly. It shouldn't be a thing at all. It shouldn't.
No, I'm just saying, like, even based off of what you're saying, like these aren't star quality guys that should be wrestled on Raw. I agree to that point. But even based with the feud, these two shouldn't even be fighting.
No, absolutely not.
The story behind it is Titus O'Neil is trying to bring Cody Rhodes back. That's what it is. That's what they've been doing. That's what the story they've been telling over the last... Well, they stopped it for like 2 weeks, but that's the story they told for like 4 weeks in a row. So we're fighting. That's pretty much it. The only purpose I would have saw that this match would have served is to bring Cody back. Because I want Cody Rhodes back. I like Cody Rhodes. I don't mind Stardust, the wrestler. I just hate the character. And I liked it when they introduced Stardust when he was with Goldust because it was kind of strange, something different. But I was hoping when Goldust was gone, Stardust would be gone. But no, it's still around. And the question I would have for you is, fuck this match, but let's talk about just Stardust, just the character.
Right.
And remember Cody Rhodes. Like, is he ever coming back? And if he does come back, is it going to be completely savable for his career? Or is he just stuck as this shit?
Well, I don't know. They've backed themselves into a corner with this character completely. So there are a few ways they could do it. They could have Goldust come back, and then Goldust finally knocks some sense into Cody Rhodes, which would, tie
Goldust is back.
Oh, is he?
He's been back for like 4 weeks. He made his debut in Job to Del Rio.
Oh, okay. Well, so they ruined that. Well, wow. Really? That happened?
That was a thing like 3 weeks ago.
That was a thing?
Yeah.
So they could bring Goldust back, and they could have him feud with Stardust. Goldust wins. Stardust finally sees the light, turns back into Cody Rhodes. Like, Goldust could do an angle. I just want my brother back. I want my brother back. And, like, slowly starts getting into him. I don't know if WWE would give him the time to do it, but it could be like a SmackDown thing that finally, leads up to something, and then, boom, Cody Rhodes is back, and Cody Rhodes, mid-cards, and, whatever. I really don't know what they can do with the Cody Rhodes character at this point. I mean, they could try to do a Tyson Kidd maneuver and have him go down to NXT.
That's what I was thinking.
And, that worked really well with Tyson Kidd. And Cody Rhodes has enough credibility, and he's a good enough performer that he would mesh well with the NXT talent because it's a little it's not a little faster paced. It's a lot faster paced, and it's a lot more athletic, and he has it in him. He's very young yet. I think he's about the same age as Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd, I think, is older.
Because Tyson Kidd is mid-30s or so, right around where Cody Rhodes is at, because I think Cody Rhodes is 33, 34. So I think Cody Rhodes is the same age as Randy Orton, or maybe like a year younger. So they're all kind of in that same age bracket, and I think he'd do really well in NXT, and I think it would be a great way to revive his career, even if they give him the title. He might be the one one of the WWE guys to finally go down there, like main roster guys to go down there and get that title.
You got something for us, Justin?
Tyson Kidd's 35 and Cody Rhodes is 30.
Oh,
okay.
So Cody Rhodes is actually
really young.
Wow, he's considerably younger. So I was wrong on that one, but I think it would be interesting, but that would be the easy route to revive his career. And I feel like Triple H is given a freaking golden stamp to go ahead and do that with people, because what's wrong with reviving the talent that you have? You can't always just go out and raid the indies and okay, that person's hot, let's grab them, push them up and throw them on Raw. Sometimes you have to look from within. You have a huge talent like Cody Rhodes. He's good. He's really, really, really good. He just needs to be refreshed. Take him down there, get him off the TV for a little bit, bring him back up. Boom.
I think the thing is, he's not Ted DiBiase Jr. He's very talented.
Yeah.
He can talk. He can do everything you want him to do. He has that package that 5 years ago we were talking about how this guy could be a main eventer or at least feuding over a main event spot. He had some great feuds with Orton. He did when they pushed him down a little bit, they put him with Sandow. That really, really worked for him. It brought out his personality a little bit more. His feud with Rey Mysterio brought out his mean side. So, like, Cody Rhodes, everything they've given him, he's done exactly what they've asked, and I thought is excelled in every little thing they told him to do. And I feel like he's trying his best with the Stardust thing. Just WWE, first of all, doesn't see the Stardust character as a serious character, and it could be. Well, it could be something really dark and something really it could be something big if used properly. I just don't think it's working.
Look at heel Goldust.
Exactly. Is what I was going to get to.
Heel Goldust was like a fucking dark character. It was, as a face, it was like a comedic character, Right. But as a heel, he was evil.
Right.
And they could have went that route, but it's at the point now where they just need to refresh him, and they need to stop giving him. Maybe they need to stop giving him like really gimmicky gimmicks, like Stardust. That's like a comedic relief kind of.
And it's a gimmick in itself.
Kind of like Los Matadores and
right.
all that, where it's like an overly gimmick. It's I don't know. They'll figure it out, I'm sure. Hopefully they will. Maybe they won't. Again, Cody Rhodes is one of them where he could make a ton of money in the Indies or Ring of Honor or whatever. So there are options for him, but hopefully they figure it out in WWE.
Yeah, I'd like to see him in NXT. That'd be kind of cool. I think it'd make NXT a lot better.
Yeah. And the writing is just so much better down there.
Right.
I mean, imagine everyone's able to have their own little storyline down there. You care.
Could you pair the dashing Cody Rhodes with the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger and let him run as a tag team?
I like Cody by himself. He did the tag team to death. He's a guy that if you're going to put him down to NXT, you're going to use him like you use Tyson Kidd. He's going to be the guy that the champion is facing on a consistent basis, not just a one and done like Justin Gabriel, but like an actual threat. And like Rob says, give him the NXT title. Give some huge credibility for the NXT title. So when the guy that beats Cody Rhodes, they do something with the guy instead of Adrian Neville. Really, realistically, he's the breakout star of the year, but really, is he? It's Kevin Owens' award. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Breeze never was an NXT champion, but the only NXT champion to really be big on the WWE roster is Seth Rollins. Because look what Bo Dallas is doing. Just in general, minus what we saw on Raw today. What did over the last year or 2 years that Bo Dallas has been?
Well, you could say WWE. Roman Reigns. Did you say Roman Reigns?
He never won the.
Oh, you said NXT champion. I thought you said just from NXT. Okay,
right. NXT championship.
But anyway, what is Bo Dallas?
And see, the thing with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, I don't really count them because they're really the first guys they brought up from NXT before NXT was on the WWE network.
Correct.
It was just a Hulu thing. A lot of people didn't know about NXT, and a lot of people don't know, but more people know about it now than they did.
Well, and they weren't
ago.
really Seth Rollins was, but it was more. A lot of them were mostly FCW,
right?
Not NXT,
right? Big E was also an NXT champion.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, Big E is the second probably famous guy to come out of NXT as far as what he's done in his career. And that's not saying a whole lot. I mean, the stuff he's doing with the New Day is more interesting than he's ever done in his entire career. And I like Big E. I've always liked Big E. So, we'll see. But it seems like the only guys that get, Rusev, when he came up, they had a plan for him. They had something for him to do. And then when they took the U.S. title away from him, they kind of looked like they were going to change his character up a little bit more, kind of give him a personality. And now they just kind of stuffed him with the League of Nations, which is 2 guys now at this point. And who cares? Who cares about Rusev now? Lana's hasn't been on the show for 2 weeks. I mean, that's what I think that. Back to Cody Rhodes. That's what I think they should do with Cody Rhodes. I agree with Rob. Send him down to NXT and give him the fucking championship. He could be the guy to end Finn Balor's run. Imagine the great matches they would have. And that wouldn't hurt Finn Balor.
Yeah,
because Cody Rhodes is an established champion up at the main roster.
Yep.
He's much more established than Tyson Kidd ever was. Tyson Kidd never won a mid-card title.
And, I mean, they could even... I mean, the feud they could have, they can feud back and forth. Fuck. Finn Balor could even win the title back.
Right.
Cody Rhodes could win it back. I mean, they could really do a lot of interesting stuff with him down there, but... And it would be... And while not only helping NXT, helping Cody Rhodes, helping refresh him. I mean, that would be... You'd be killing two birds with one stone, but...
Isn't that what you said you wanted Ziggler to do?
Go down to NXT? No.
Take some time off, though?
I think Ziggler needs to take time off after Mania and just be off TV for a while and come back. But, I mean, that's something on previous podcasts I've said. But, yeah.
Well, Ziggler just... I mean...
He's got.
I think we were even talking about it the last time I was on the podcast where he looks worn out.
Right.
He looks just like he's going out there and he's doing what he can do, but man, he's dragging. You can tell. I mean, he's just not himself.
Or maybe you take him off TV for a while, bring him back for some Mania Battle Royal or whatever, just so he can get his Mania payday, and then, take him off TV almost. You don't have to take him off real long, for just for a couple of months, like 3 months. Minimum.
And they could put someone over by injuring him in the process to explain why he's gone.
Right.
Yep.
Spent a lot of time on the worst match of the night.
No, we talked about Cody Rhodes. It's important. What's going on with Cody? Yeah, we really did. We don't have much planned after Raw anyways. Moving on. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. This went on for a long time.
Yeah, and it was actually somewhat refreshing after the Stardust Titus O'Neil match. So, essentially, going into it, Charlotte didn't want to have a rematch with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was, being the face in it all, and, well, we should have, it was a really good match we had, and we should have another just to, see who comes out on top and all that kind of stuff. And, Becky Lynch went out there, and despite, Ric Flair trying tricks and all that stuff, defeated Charlotte. Charlotte then completed her heel transition and attacked Becky Lynch after the match, and that set up a women's or a Divas Championship match on SmackDown between Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
The thing with this is Charlotte turns heel. It felt not natural. Like the heel turn, it was kind of lame-ish because the way she attacked her, it wasn't like it was... I don't know. I felt like this was just not... It's nice to see Charlotte finally turn complete heel, even though she was a heel this whole time. But to kind of... That means we're going to get a Becky Lynch-Charlotte feud, and it's another, as I've been saying, like the last month and a half or 2 months, it's now less time where Sasha's not on TV, Sasha's not in a feud, and Sasha's not getting the championship.
Well, yeah, with so much going on, they've completely cut the time away from the Divas, too. They went from, 2 or even 3 Divas matches back down to 1. So
yeah, Sasha wasn't on this show today. Paige, their top diva they have, their most highest rated diva, wasn't on the show tonight.
All of Team Bad, the Bellas, they weren't on.
Well, Nikki's Bella hurt?
Doing something. Or, yeah,
Nikki's actually injured.
Yeah, she's out. Well, Brie.
Well, Brie's just pretty much used as a jobber at this point.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, we're going to get Charlotte versus Becky. I imagine we're going to get this match more than once. Maybe they're going to give Becky the title and have Charlotte win it back at the Rumble. And then Becky's going to have to turn to her old girlfriend, Sasha Banks, from NXT to... You have to take out Charlotte. She's out of control. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, there's not a whole lot I can add to this. I mean, it is a heel turn. We haven't seen a heel turn in the women's division in a while. I'm excluding Paige from that because I don't know what she is half the time. And Nikki Bella doesn't count because I don't know what she is half the time. So it's refreshing to see a heel turn in the Divas division. I felt like it was more about Ric Flair than anything else again.
Yeah.
Ric Flair once again kind of took everything away.
Remember, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, the WWE, they had like one of their quarterly earnings reports or something, and they were losing money. It was like when the finances started getting really bad for WWE. They like turned in their quarterly finance report and they have to release it to the public, and they like were like, wow, we're not doing so good money wise. And then their stock price dropped to like $10 a share. And either that day or the very next day, they had a list of like 30 people that they released.
Right.
Remember that? That was the one. That was the release where they released like 3MB minus Heath Slater. So Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. Just a shit ton of people. I think was not he goes by Tyrus now, but he was
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay was one of them. JTG.
Which I was surprised was still on the roster at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like a crap ton of people that they just were like, nope, and they just got rid of them all. I want to see one more of those before WrestleMania.
Before WrestleMania?
Before WrestleMania, I'd like to see one more of those because I feel like they're giving some people time, and they're giving matches time, and they're maintaining certain angles just because these people exist. And I feel like if you take some of these people out of the equation, first, you're not wondering, what are they doing with them anymore? It's just, that's something that's out of your mind. And furthermore, you make that room for some of the NXT talent that deserve it to be brought up, that they possibly have time for. But I think the Divas division, the Divas division needs a cleansing. And Tamina would be on that list.
Naomi.
I hate to say it, but yeah, Naomi would be on that list.
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox would be another one.
They're gonna have to keep one of them.
I mean, because I guess we just named 3 Black Divas. Oops, but Sasha Banks, keep her around. But the point is, like, they need to do like a massive cleansing because, damn. I mean, again, going back to the Titus O'Neil Cody Rhodes match, you hate to give up on someone like Cody Rhodes, and I don't want to see that. But if they did release him, which that would actually be in bad taste with their dad just dying and everything, but if they did release him, you'd kind of be like, well, good for him in a way. Now he can make money in the indies.
I think Cody makes good money in WWE to the point and lives fairly comfortably.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure, yeah.
I don't know if he wants to do... I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about Cody. I don't know him personally or anything like that. But you would release Cody Rhodes before you would release Goldust?
Oh, damn, I could make a list. Like, if you want a full list of, like,
we just went over Divas.
I mean, I would have probably a 20-man list
that
of
job
people.
squad's 4 of them right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd put the job squad up there, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
We haven't gotten there.
But
you have a problem with, like, giving away the ending to movies here.
We talked about the main event first.
We didn't. We talked about the story. I'm not arguing with you. So yeah.
But I guess I'd be getting rid of all of Kevin's people, all of the jobbers, all of the easily replaceable ones that really don't bring a lot to the product. You know, I'm kidding. Ha ha ha!
Yeah,
smile, laugh.
Whatever.
But no, God, who would be the people? I don't know. I'd keep Heath Slater around, believe it or not, because I feel like he has a lot of potential. But that being said, Adam Rose, bloop, gone. Curtis Axel, bloop, gone. Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, Goldust, The Ascension. Sorry, The Ascension would have to go.
Are they making enough where... They don't get TV time anyways. Are they making enough where...
House shows and probably the B shows, or the C shows, like Superstars and Main Event.
Okay.
I think Fandango and Rosa Mendez are still on payroll.
Yep, Fandango, gone. Rosa Mendez, gone.
I'd keep Fandango.
Los Matadores.
Those I get rid of. I keep Primo and get rid of Epico.
What? What kind of decision is that? That's a horrible decision. Why? Just because?
Primo's a good wrestler. When he was Primo Colon, I like Primo.
God damn.
Epico sucks.
Wow.
I wouldn't keep him as a Los Matadores. I'd just make him Primo. I I wouldn't cut Fandango. I would just repackage him as Johnny Curtis. Just do it.
Johnny Curtis was awesome, by the way.
Right.
I'll take that back and agree with you on that. If they did the Johnny Curtis thing, I'd be all for it.
Right. Or you could even keep him Fandango. Just change the character to what he was doing in NXT.
But I'll even go further, and I'd make the rough cuts. Neville. I would start digging deep in there to really make room and focus on who you want your core to be.
I wouldn't cut
I'd
Neville.
be getting rid of.
I think he's way too talented.
I would either cut him, or they need to decide how to make a pure B show, maybe a brand extension then, like they did before. But they have to figure something out. But I think a cut would be the easiest way.
Would you cut Rusev and Barrett then?
I'd cut Barrett because they've given too many chances at it. A lot of people want to see him succeed, but they've given him too many shots.
They're saying he's going to be part of the next cut.
Barrett?
Yeah. They're something I read about how he's going to go work at another promotion with, I don't know, it was a women's wrestler or something like that, because that's why some event is waiting to announce it, but they're waiting for the release of WWE for him or something like that. So I don't know. I think Wade Barrett is on the way out, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's been, stagnant for so long that would be something that it's best for him, it's best for the company, And it's a shame. It really is a shame because...
Mark Henry's on your list?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why is he still around? Big Show, Kane. Yes, Kane. Yeah.
Undertaker?
I wouldn't cut Kane.
Undertaker?
Well, it depends how they use him.
Undertaker.
Are they going to make him like a GM or something, or are they going to keep him like an active roster wrestler? Because if they keep him, well, yeah, something like that. But he would not be on my main roster. He would not be.
He's not on the main roster really right now. He does a match once in a while.
Yeah.
Mark Henry, I would keep as a trainer or some type of as your promotional tool. He could go on talk shows and talk about how he was a weightlifting champion, Olympic champion. He's got a little bit of credibility that I wouldn't let him, because he's been with the company for so long.
But I would acknowledge the fact that he's no longer going to be a wrestler.
Yes. He doesn't really do that.
For both Mark Henry and Kane, they would get acknowledgments. For the rest of them, I would just sweep them under the rug.
Big Show, I'm keeping.
Big Show would have potential as a manager.
I think Big Show as a maybe not as a manager, as a manager and like a bodyguard or something like that, or like the authorities' bodyguard or their authorities' bitch or something like that. But I wouldn't be using him in one-on-one feuds. The thing about Big Show is he's so large that I still think that he could still kind of draw at a house show, especially in some corn fuck town or whatever, where they just do nothing, where people live in the corns and haven't seen
live in the corns. I love it.
They come out of the swamps and the corn so they can see this very large man. Big Show is very large, and in and of itself, I mean, if I was younger or if I didn't really have seen a Big Show in my life, I'd pay to see someone that big perform. He's huge.
Ooh, you want to know who else I would cut? 24 of their 28 writers.
Yeah.
Because
that's ridiculous.
Why does any show have that many writers and consistently put on a terrible product? You'd think, if you saw there was CSI or something, and they have 28 writers, you're like, this show's going to be fucking awesome. No. I see something's getting prepared here.
And you know what that means. It's Warzone Hour, which means no holds barred, anything goes. All the jokes, all the banter, the swear words, everything.
No racist jokes this week?
Nope, none.
So this guy last week opens up this is the Warzone Hour, which means we do racist jokes. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
He put me on the spot, and like that was the first thing that came. Where it was like,
I've never
as
once
he
cracked
came
a
out of my-
racist joke on here.
as it came out of my mouth, I knew I'd fucked up. So he's never gonna let me forget it.
Okay.
So, speaking of Big Show, he had a match today against Ryback for the second week in a row. It looked like this was going to be a feud again. We were going to get Ryback in the Big Show
I've never seen that
again.
before.
First time ever.
Wow. You mean the big guy versus the big show? That's even how they could brand it. Oh, wait.
They did that already. But, so who comes out to save the day? The Wyatts are going to feud with Ryback.
Boom! 4 cuts right there.
All 4 of them.
Yep.
You can cut all 6 men involved and be okay.
Yep.
I'm going to disagree with this one. I would not cut Luke Harper, and I'm not cutting
Everyone
Bray
else
Wyatt.
Every time.
It's getting to the point like you become impatient with it because they're not doing anything with any of them.
But I don't.
They're not. The booking is so inconsistent. It's so inconsistent. Their main event, like powerful, whatever, one week, and then the next. Big Show and Ryback, where can you possibly go with Big Show and Ryback? You're getting a D-quality feud, regardless of what direction they pick. If you team Ryback and the Big Show up, what is in it for the Wyatts? What do you do with that? And then you have Eric Rowan, not spectacular at all. You have the one big guy, Braun Strowman. Yeah, he can talk a little bit, intimidating. They're never going to use him right. Luke Harper's old. Bray Wyatt. Is he good on the mic?
Old? How old is Luke Harper?
Luke
Isn't
Harper
he like
wanted
30,
to retire.
Isn't he like 38?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, Luke Harper is like... He doesn't even have much left in him, so he's never going to get like a...
36?
Yeah, he's...
He looks pretty bad for 36.
Yeah, so he's never getting like a main event run or anything like that. I mean, it's
Well, you
Luke
don't have
Harper.
to have guys like everyone on your roster like that's my future main event or that's my future main event.
Yeah, but
that's
shouldn't
my
you
future
want
main
that out of
eventer.
everyone? Shouldn't that be what you look at? Because then you have a credible, believable roster. Like, wow, I'll just push you right back to the Attitude Era. If they would have made Billy Gunn the WWE champion at one point, and I love bringing up Billy Gunn because that's like someone who I feel like they could have like brought to that level at any point.
He couldn't talk. That was the problem with him. He couldn't talk. He was, at the time, he was probably the most athletic guy in the ring.
Dolph Ziggler.
Which is saying something because I don't think he was that great. I thought he was great for what was on as far as like the wrestlers in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was great for that time period. But compared to the guys that are wrestling today, I don't know if he would... I don't know if he's better than a lot of the guys today. I think he'd be like right at the bottom tier of like the good wrestlers. But
him speaking, he speaks as well as any of them today.
today, yeah, but not back then.
Not back then, but that's someone where even if they had brought him up and made him the champion at any point, even of course it would have been as a heel, it would have been believable. A lot of them. They could have dug down to the mid-card so many times and made believable WWE champions, and people would have accepted it. And it would have been fine, because you'd be like, okay, I can see it. Now, there's so many people who are like,
Most of the guys back then
damn,
were
they're
also-
never going to be a champ. Damn, they're never going to be the champion.
Most of the guys back then were juiced to the gills too. That they just hired a bunch of like really really large guys instead of like the
Not even look-wise, but they had like a story, personality. Like they were I felt like they had a lot of guys who were the complete package. I mean, you had a few of your really gimmicky ones that you knew were nothing was ever going to come of them.
like the Godfather.
The Godfather, that immediately came to mind. D'Lo Brown would be another one where
I
you
thought
kind of
D'Lo Brown could have been something
you knew
if he didn't kill.
but you draws. Yeah, you knew he was your mid Carter though. You knew he was your mid Carter. That was your European, hardcore
you don't
champ
think
kind
that
of deal.
with proper writing and proper build that Luke Harper could be a believable world champion?
No.
I say I disagree with that.
It would take so much. Maybe, but it would be like one of those intermediary champions. That wouldn't be someone you build to. That would be your stepping stone champion. So that would be like your this person lost to him, so this person can win it right away. Like if you have two faces, you want to transition the championship between two faces, you put him as the heel stepping stone, and you move it right off to your other face right away.
But that's part of the business. You got to have a guy for that role.
A transitional one. So that could be your transitional one, but that would never be your guy.
So you'd have him like Sheamus?
Sheamus accidentally fell into that role, so yeah.
And Sheamus at one point was kind of like they actually tried doing something with him, and then he kind of got hurt right at the end of his title run. But I don't know. I like Luke Harper. I think that Bray Wyatt has the personality enough to be a believable world champion. I don't think that he is the best in the ring, and that just comes down to writing. The writing's bad. They don't have anything to do for these guys when they're not feuding for the world title. It seems like the only solid storyline is whatever's going on with the world title, and everything else is very, very completely secondary. Where back in '99, you had, the world title, Triple H versus The Rock. During that time period, Mick Foley had a mini feud with The Big Show, or Big Boss Man, who was kind of elevated the main event every once in a while, too. Mm-hmm. There was other storylines going on that, if it came to it, and also you had one time you had The Rock feuding with Triple H for the title. He was tagging with Mick Foley over the tag champs, feuding with Undertaker and The Big Show, and had a mini feud with Val Venus, like in the same time period, because Val Venus stole Mick Foley's sock. Like it's stupid stuff like that.
The writing was fantastic.
It was great writing.
And you know that there were only like 2 writers, so not like 39 of them. Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's just it comes exactly down to that.
But then look at the roster size also.
Right.
Is another thing I would point at. The roster is 4 times bigger now than what it was in '99.
Is it?
It's got to be. I would look it up, and I would damn near think it's at least. This
is excluding NXT and.
Oh yeah, I'm not even talking about NXT. The feeders don't count. I would say your core roster.
I felt like it was way bigger back then.
Think about everyone who had something to do in a 2-hour show and was given time. Now think about everyone. Just if you think about the time, it's a 3-hour show, and some of your top stars don't even have time. Like,
you don't have anything for us?
It's not giving me anything that I can go off of.
All right.
Maybe that's something I'll work on. Because I want to come back to that. Because I guarantee the roster size. I would bet a lot of money on it.
When I turn on like WWF No Mercy, I feel like that roster is just significantly bigger than the roster today. That I feel like today's roster on the video games, they have to bring a lot of guys that aren't active wrestlers. Mm-hmm. As far as like full-time guys.
But they exclude a lot of people too, don't they? On the new WWE games?
No.
Like, do you get actually like the Kalisto, Sin Cara, Los Matadores, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young?
I think primetime players are on there. I don't think Los Matadores are, though.
The Ascension.
Ascension's on there.
That's
because they got NXT guys on there, too.
Oh, okay.
They have Baron Corbin.
Yeah, there's one.
But, like, I feel like when I turned on WWE, like, and that, as far as full-time guys we're talking, not like guys like Lesnar and Taker and Jericho.
And Rhino. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking Rhino. But yeah, I mean, I could see it. So the Wyatts come out, they kill everyone. Looks like we're going to get a Wyatt. And Big Show, I guess, turns face. Or sympathy face. Is this the right thing to do?
We had 4 versions of Sting in this game.
Right, that's like another thing they do with today's roster. They bring in like 7 different versions of the same character. Remember when you turn on WWF No Mercy and if you had 4 different versions, it was all part of the same character model?
Yeah, it would just be different, yeah.
The right C button or whatever, or the left C button. Now they have it where you can have Sting versus Sting versus Sting versus Sting and a Sting championship match or whatever. It's just like, maybe I want the same character model, like the 2002 Triple H is the same character model as the Authority Triple H. Just once in a while come out with the old thing, but you can't do it like that. It's a completely different character.
Dumb.
It's dumb. Yeah, I'm not going to have Authority Triple H versus 2002 Triple H. Even though I bet you Triple H would love to see that match.
Somehow Triple H would still bury both Triple H's, and it would be, oh my god.
Somehow...
It's like Inception.
Somehow Shelton Benjamin will get buried in that match. Or Booker T. One of the two. So, the Wyatts. Looks like they're feuding with Big Show. Maybe they're not. Maybe this was just to take them both off TV. And they're going to just start taking out groups.
That I'd be okay with. As long as those groups they take out get released. So
the Wyatt family is your WWE cut list.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be their new stable. No, honestly, what I think is happening now is we're going to get Big Show versus Braun Strowman. Probably at Mania. It's like
shivers down my spine for the wrong
It's like
reasons.
The writers, the producers, Vince McMahon himself, the people that are in charge of booking this have absolutely no idea what works right now.
These are also the same people that need to be loaded on a bus that falls off a cliff. So I
feel like that's too kind for them.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a chance of survival. I would just be throwing them off the cliff.
We'll tie him to the ring post and let Kane do his entrance.
That'd be kind of fun.
The human sacrifice again.
Right. I miss the human sacrifices. They should just start throwing these guys off the cliff with no parachutes and then use them as target practices on the way down.
Wow.
Put them all on an island and then we'll...
Have them all... You're going to quote a George Carlin joke?
Yeah.
Fine. Put them all on an island, have them all fight to the death, put the winner on a pedestal, and shoot them in the fucking head.
Nice.
But yeah. So, let's moving on. Alberto Del Rio and Rusev versus the Usos. I think League of Nations won. I didn't circle a winner for this, but yeah, League of Nations won the match. So it's about to start over. Is Alberto Del Rio feuding with Cena now? Is that done? The feud's over already? Kevin?
I have no idea.
I'd cut Alberto Del Rio too.
Can we just,
You just signed though!
Can we just cut that whole match? Like even the Usos can go too.
I'm not cutting Rusev. I will put myself on the line for Rusev,
The
which
only
means
way
I'll probably
Rusev
be launched
stays-
off a cliff with him.
Usos I would keep. They draw. They get a good pop from the audience every time they come out. At least people are invested in them.
Del
That being
Rio, I
said, they
feel,
need a
has gotten
story.
better. Not as in ring. I mean, it's okay.
In ring, he's damn solid. His problem has never been the in ring.
Right. His promo with Cena last week. If you haven't seen it, I'd go check it out.
Okay.
It was pretty good. He did a mixture of Spanish and English in the promo, which normally comes off as like, what? But this was like, you knew what he was saying, but he was saying in a different language.
He's a poquito. And it's like, what the fuck did you... Okay,
Yeah,
fine,
I think
alright,
he pretty
great.
much said he was going to like cut Cena's balls off in Spanish or something like that, which would be kind of funny actually. But yeah, this is the thing. League of Nations. No Sheamus, which is what I said last week they should have done. So last week they had League of Nations out there with Del Rio as the leader, even though Sheamus is part of it, and had the little feud with Cena. Now, and Barrett was with them too. Now, I said that Sheamus should not have been a part of this, considering he's going to be part of the actual main event storyline. This time they did it right. However, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I got nothing. I mean, are they just going to put the two together after Del Rio drops the U.S. title? Is he ever going to defend the U.S. title, like legit defend it? Or is there just, what do you think, Rob?
I forgot he was the U.S. champion and that the U.S. championship existed. But I really don't know what the future plans are with that one. I mean, we got a boulder rolling through the hallway at our recording parlor here. So, yes, it's a recording parlor. The boulder, it's rolling.
It's actually the plumbing in the Arby's bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's right. We recorded in Arby's bathroom, which is now a Taco Bell, which is now a cave with a boulder. But no, I really don't know. It's a shame to see Del Rio misused. It's a shame to see that all the all the build that went into the U.S. Championship just completely dissolve. It's gone. It's
gone.
It's not even a thing. I mean, John Cena had that belt, and it was like, damn, that might as well be the world title. Then you had Seth Rollins get the title, and then you had John Cena win it again. It was like that was your number 2 belt. Like,
and you almost gave it to Owens.
Clearly, that was your number 2 belt. Clearly, and now it's like distant third place, garbage. Fuck, dissolve the title.
Would you almost say that the tag teams are the second belt now?
No, I'd say the Intercontinental
So
was the second belt.
Remember when Del Rio beat Cena for the United States title? Back at, what pay-per-view was that, Kevin?
I don't know.
Okay, well, a while ago, I said on this very podcast that I feel like it's not everything that Cena did for the U.S. title isn't going to mean anything. I also said that Cena did some great stuff for the U.S. title, but once when he drops the title, the U.S. title is probably going to go back to where it was because Cena was bigger than the title.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah.
That it wasn't Cena making the U.S. title better. It was just Cena making, I don't want to say himself better, but making the feuds he was in meaningful because it was Cena. Like if Kevin Owens was fighting fucking Cody Rhodes for the United States title, would you give a fuck if he beat him for the U.S. title? You'd expect it. But beat Cena for the U.S. title?
Well, I like the entire the concept of turning your U.S. title into the TV championship also.
Yeah.
Because that added so much credibility to the belt and made it interesting every week because you had a guaranteed title match and those matches were like top caliber matches. And then having the whole like you never know who's going to come out thing. Great. It was not written and it was still fantastic. Well, I mean it was written, but it came off as not being written at all, and it was like you had a nice random-ass match every week. You didn't need build because it was a
title match.
It was a challenge. It was an open challenge, which of course required no build, so you could get face on face. It makes sense. You can get heel on face. That makes sense. Anyone who comes out there is just looking for a title shot. So it was a good way. I mean, it's gone now. It doesn't really fucking matter anymore, but it worked for so many reasons. Oops.
Yeah.
So we'll end that with oops.
Kevin, you got anything to add?
Nope.
What else is new? So that leads us into our next match of our contest. So I'm just going to come back to you once in a while. If you don't have anything to add, it's just going to make you look stupid. You're giving me that look like I finger banged your cat.
I don't have a motherfucking cat for the 4th week in a row. Maybe I'll pick up a kitten from the Humane Society later.
So Patrick over here was super excited. He sent me a message. He's like, guess what? I get to watch Raw tonight with you guys. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's going to give us a third chair. So, because he works and he doesn't get off till 10 o'clock. So he misses Raw when we watch it. So now, you watched Raw. I'm giving you an opportunity.
He's
Give
covering
me your
every
thoughts.
base that I would cover. Like, Rob's got it on point.
Okay.
And that goes back to the beginning of the show when I said I'm the Brock Lesnar. And he's like, what? Why are you... What?
I'm just going to go...
Why am I the low card? Why do I not
I'm just going to
contribute?
go ahead and say I'm Paul Heyman and you're Brock Lesnar.
Why am I
Don't think
Darren
so.
Young? Why am I... Paul Heyman speaks.
Yeah. That'd be more me, if anything.
You're... God. I mean, you're Curtis Axel.
I'm like the Paul Heyman commentator from like 2001. Like I'm the guy that people turned on. Like, man, I miss the days when that guy was on commentary. That's me.
You're current Taz.
This show wouldn't survive without me. You know it.
Well, yeah, because Rob works Monday nights, and
Well-
you're the one that organizes it, so yes.
So let's cover that really quick. Over the last few Monday nights, I complicated situation. I don't usually work Monday nights. Had to work a couple Monday nights. Wasn't available to do the podcast. I will not be working Monday nights going forward because of my job situation being fixed now. Not that it's unstable. That sounds horrible. I don't live in a homeless shelter, nor am I about to. Anyway, it's all remedied. Good to go. Monday nights are free again. Boom. I'm set. The train's back on the tracks.
Kevin, you have anything to add?
I still work Monday nights, but I'll be here after Raw.
Yay. The crowd is chanting, please retire. You are Big Show of this podcast.
I don't think they're chanting, please retire.
I know, no one's
I've
listening.
had 4 comments on the show, and they've all been about me. I'm amazing.
There's no comments. No one ever leaves comments.
They're chanting, please go fuck yourself, is what they're chanting. It sounds like retire for some reason. I don't know, but like, half of them are saying, please retire. Half are saying, please go fuck yourself.
So speaking of useless, Heath Slater comes out with the Job Squad.
Which was amazing.
This was probably one of the highlights of the entire show. We bitched for like 20 minutes about Stardust versus Titus O'Neil. If you're going to put a bunch of like who gives a fucks together or in a match, this is the way to do it. So whoever wrote this, I would want him to continue. Actually, whoever wrote this idea, fuck it. Have him write Monday Night Raw by himself next week because it seems like he has a good idea of what to do with guys that who gives a fuck about. Where the guy who came up with, let's do Stardust versus Titus O'Neil, shoot him between the fucking eyes.
Absolutely.
Because the next time I see Stardust versus Titus O'Neil is getting, the guy who comes up with this is getting stabbed in the eyes. So, kind of violent.
Are we shooting or stabbing?
We're doing both with my cutlass. So, that's going to be my concealed carry. My fucking sword. Pirate sword.
That's awesome.
It's going to be tough to conceal that, so fuck it, I'll open carry that shit. Rob a jewelry store with that. It could be like Sting's loaded bat.
Except this is a sword. This is... Turn out and hold a sword to someone's head. The bat's one thing, but damn, a sword, that's just final. No matter what you do, there's no going back. You hit someone with a bat a few times, they'll heal up in a few days.
You slice them with
you
a
start
sword.
slicing them with a sword, it's just game over. You're done.
No, if I just hold the sword up to like Kevin's throat over here, it's just as effective as holding a gun to his head.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%.
I'm done. I'm not saying a word because then you'll just...
Murder is not okay.
And you're less likely to push the sword out of the way.
Can you say that a little louder so somebody can hear you?
No. So, we have Ziggler versus Heath Slater with the Job Squad. Part of this Job Squad is Bo Dallas, Michael McKillicuddy,
Curtis
Adam
Axel.
Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Adam Rose and... Who's the other one?
So it's Heath Slater.
Oh, Heath Slater was the
Heath
fourth.
Slater
So
was
3
wrestling.
guys.
Adam Rose, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas were outside the ring, supporting Heath Slater.
Heath Slater gets a win.
Yep.
He is undefeated on Monday Night Raw in 2016.
Holy shit.
And so this is going to make him one step closer to finally getting his United States Championship he's been asking. That he's been saying he's going to get.
Yeah. And then they, as Heath Slater was walking back up the ramp with the Job Squad, they had the most awkward promo, purposely awkward promo ever, with Heath Slater pretty much acknowledging that they're all a bunch of bullshit, and like they're all jobbers and they're always down and everything. And then everyone got their little moment to speak. Heath Slater talked; he was the most coherent. Adam Rose seemed drunk off his ass and. He was like, we're gonna do it, baby! Yeah, baby!
Yeah,
baby!
baby.
Baby! We're gonna do that! Which, also, does that mean that Adam Rose's whole little, like, segment thing where he was, like, doing, like, backstage scoops is gone?
Done.
Okay, that's fine. And then, Curtis Axel, like, was having, like, a mental breakdown.
The chains are off!
Yeah, he kept on repeating, the chains are off. Now the chains are off, which, okay, that's fine. And, Bo Dallas just says standard believe shit. So they are the what are they? The awkward misfits or the social outcasts? Damn, how did I fuck that up? Both words wrong. awkward misfits, social outcasts.
I like it.
I think Bo Dallas was probably the most coherent. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, yeah.
Because he didn't change anything. He was just like, believe.
Yep.
He reminded me of a little kid that had to get the last word because Slater set the mic down. They went to walk away.
I was like, he didn't say believe yet.
And Bo ran back, grabbed the mic, and goes, believe.
So, is this a one and done? Are they going to actually do something with these?
I hope they actually are doing something with it, but I don't know. I thought it was entertaining. I don't know. I liked it.
I'm looking for the 8-man Job Squad tag team match between two teams of jobbers.
I hope they dominate. The only way to book this is for them to dominate.
Right.
If they book it any other way, if they job once, it's done. If they lose one fucking match, no matter how insignificant, it's over. They have to win.
They could be like, as when they're single, they're like completely jobbers, but as together, they're this cohesive unit.
Like
they're the Shield 3.0.
Like, and it could be bullshit victories.
Don't say that.
Yeah. There was never a Shield 2.0.
Shield 2.0 was Seth Rollins and John Morrison. Not John Morrison.
Wow, what a great tag team there, by the way.
Seth Rollins, Jamie Noble, and
Joey
JJ
Mercury.
Security. Yeah, that was Shield 2.0. That's what Seth Rollins called it.
They were Shield 2.0. No,
They won some
Shield
matches.
reunion this year, according to everyone.
Probably gives a shit.
That was the idea when Rollins comes back. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's just lazy writing.
Right. I don't want to, I'm not looking forward to Seth Rollins coming back as a babyface. I like him as a heel.
He's a good heel.
I feel like he was the best thing they had going for a while.
Yep.
And
Unfortunately, you didn't see it.
He could make like a bullshit feud watchable. His feud with Kane was hilarious. As bullshit as the feud was, Kane made it awesome. Yeah, Seth Rollins made it awesome. His feud with Brock Lesnar is probably the best feud Lesnar's been in. Like, probably since he's been back. That was hilarious. His feud with anyone, the only serious feud he had was with Dean Ambrose, which was a whatever feud. But even that was...
Yeah.
I think he freaking curb stomped him through some bricks.
Yep.
Through some cinder blocks.
Some really soft cinder blocks.
Yeah. His foot went through the cinder blocks.
I work with cinder blocks quite often. If you curb stomp someone through cinder blocks, A, you're fucking Superman. B, their head is like dissolved.
Yeah.
Like their head is gone.
Or C, you're a complete psychopath and should be curb stomping people through bricks.
But if you go through that brick, oh my god. Like, wow. So anyway, but it was just plaster spray painted gray, so it's not the same as an actual cinder block.
Right. No, Seth Rollins has just got one super strong leg.
Like, holy shit.
Probably shouldn't take this with beer. So, moving on. New Day cuts a promo and who comes back? Chris Jericho.
The Ayatollah of Rock and Roll.
Save us, Jericho.
This was a pretty good promo by Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
This was one of his better ones. Like, the last couple of times he comes back, he kind of sounds like he's more of a rock star than a wrestler. This one, he kind of went on with the ever line. He was, like, saying it like he would in a CD or something like that. Or a stage or concert. But other than that, this was pretty good.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Kevin was really admiring Jericho's attire there. Kevin?
No, Rob and I were discussing what the hell his shirt was.
Dude, I've given you an opportunity to express and what you think. I didn't go to him first.
I know, but you tried to make me sound gay by talking about Jericho's clothing.
Didn't? What kind of self-conscious issue do you have? We have never discussed your homosexuality on the podcast. Because
nor will we ever.
Andrew and I felt like it was something that didn't need to be brought up. We didn't feel like it was our place to discuss this. Okay, whatever. Fine, go back in the closet for the sake of the podcast. We don't care. Anyway, let's talk about Jericho's outfit.
Okay.
That's why we turned to you for the fashion critique right away. Anyway, let's go back to this.
Okay.
Rob, what do you think of his attire?
Yeah, I don't know. What was that, 38 seconds of silence? Jesus. Anyway.
Or 3 seconds.
what would you call it? You Kevin over here said it looked like a tuxedo vest that I saw on the Grammys earlier. Something like that. I don't know what you're saying.
It was just so fabulous.
Yep, exactly. That was his critique of it. Fabulous. But it looked like it was like a tuxedo vest.
I thought it was a girdle.
By itself. Well, girdle's just like a strap.
Right.
Like, not a strap on, as Kevin apparently enjoys.
I was talking
now,
more like a female girdle.
Roth, fuck off.
A female girdle?
Maybe that's not what it's called. But the stuff they used that they wore in like the 1800s, when they made like they pulled all their belongings up
like,
higher.
A bustier? That's like
Is that what
a
it's called?
Yeah.
That's what he was wearing.
No, he wasn't.
It was totally that.
All right, fashion expert Justin over here.
Yeah,
What was he wearing?
Dude. Well, you see, Chris Jericho walked down the aisle he was wearing a tuxedo vest and some rocker jeans.
Okay.
With
What's the
his
designer?
I don't fucking know. Probably Mark Echo.
Oh, okay.
What kind of shoes was he wearing?
I don't know.
You were paying attention.
Cowboy boots? I don't know.
I noticed he was wearing skinny jeans.
Okay.
Or rocker
The
jeans.
skinny
same thing.
jeans are coming back again, guys.
Yes, they are.
It was a thing in the 80s, it went away in the 90s, and it's back.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, when you start breaking out the skinny jeans?
I'm fat, so all jeans are skinny jeans.
I like it.
Well, most farmers who wear overalls would disagree. Because
Those are overalls. Those are jeans.
Or most
so whoever
most
fucking-
CEOs that are porking over their 16-year-old interns would disagree with you with that, too.
What? I tried to comprehend them before I had a response, and all that came out was, "What did you just say?"
And that's why you are in your own little corner. So moving on. So we get the 6-man tag, Kalisto, Bubba Ray, cares about the other guy, versus New Day.
yeah.
This went on a long time, too. There's
It
been
did.
like 2 commercial
It did.
breaks for like
Yeah.
no reason.
Yeah, I really didn't understand why the match went on as long as it did. It was a solid match. It wasn't a bad match by any means. I mean, with the Dudleys, you're pretty much guaranteed a fast-paced match. They work very fast. They keep the action level really high in their matches, intensity level, I should say. But yeah, it went on a long time, very long time.
As far as like breaking down the match, there's not a whole lot you can really say because it's a TV match.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright for 6-man tag, I guess. Devon I know he got pinned. I don't know who got the pin. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Big E, they hit their tag team move off the top rope. Kofi rolled out and Big E covered him.
Got it. Okay.
And then that leads us into our main event. I don't have much else to add to that.
No, I had nothing on that one.
Anything.
It was a good match. It was not a bad match. Sin Cara noticeably absent because of an injury, I believe. Shoulder injury.
His shoulder completely ripped off. They're trying
and,
they're going to put it on the same side of his other shoulder now, so he's going to have 2 arms on one side.
Nice.
So that way it'd be tougher for him to, botch everything.
Wow. You just look horrified by that.
It's some freaky Sid Toy Story shit.
Don't worry,
on.
they're not creating an octopus. We'll be okay. Actually, if they did make him into an octopus, which designer is actually great at making octopus shirts? Do you have anything there?
I don't know. Probably not.
Do you have any octopus shirts in the closet?
No.
No?
You're wearing the matching Adidas t-shirt with an Adidas pants.
And? Do you
Just
want to
thought
bring
about-
up that I have Adidas socks on too?
Do you really have
I
Adidas
really
socks on?
do.
Wow.
See? Look.
Oh.
I'm amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
Or I just put clothes on that were in my drawer.
Oh.
I don't see why it matters.
You really care about fashion a lot.
Yeah, you put it all together. You got
Yeah.
those nice fluorescent shoes.
Those are Nikes, a whole different brand.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
it's probably what you would wear if you were pushing carts or something in case someone ran over your feet.
I don't think so.
It's safety first.
Oh, man.
It's good to be back. We bring into the WWE Championship Sheamus versus Roman Reigns. This was a clusterfuck. This whole thing was.
Yeah, with the special guest referee being Vince McMahon.
McMahon.
Who flexed an obscene amount of times, which I enjoyed. That made the match for me. Vince came out and he was flexing his arms on the entrance ramp, struts down, flexes his muscles to a fat guy in the audience, which that's just awesome in and of itself. Gets in the ring, they cut to commercial, they come back from commercial break, he's popping his pecs, he's bouncing his pecs in the ring. He's just sitting there just showing off. William Garcia was cracking up laughing. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but she was in the corner just oh my god, and Vince is just in there popping his pecs the whole time. I don't know.
Kevin, what do you think of Vince McMahon's body?
What do you mean?
What do you think?
Steroids? HGH? Whole bunch of stuff that he shouldn't be on?
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked extremely well.
For being a 70
No, I just think he just looked good in general. For someone 70, I wish I looked like that, and I'm 27.
Absolutely, but the fact that he's 70 years old and he is in the shape he's in, I mean, wow.
Yeah. He looks like one of those CEOs that can kick your ass. Well, he probably is one of those CEOs that.
You want to fight Vince McMahon?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I saw that punch after the match. It just looks stellar.
Okay, well, do you want to fight Vince McMahon?
Maybe.
Based on that punch, I think you should fight Vince McMahon.
I should fight Vince McMahon.
On a serious note, I would sell the shit out of anything he gave me. He could throw a pen at me and I'd go flying out of the room. And I would lay out like I'm, The Rock.
Who just took a stunner. Just
Right. I'd lay out totally like The Rock would sell. I'd sell it like The Rock would. And then I would put myself through a table after the fact.
Yeah, he flicks a pen at you, you jump through a table.
I would oversell the shit for that guy.
But on a serious note, I want to see Justin fight Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I do too.
Because he's basing it on the weak punch that he threw after the match. Okay. Good luck with that. You let me know how that goes for you. Because I think he would rip you to fucking shreds. He would rip me to fucking shreds. I'm not saying I can, fight or anything. He'd destroy me. He would destroy you also.
He would bend you over like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Or Trish Stratus.
No. He's not going to enjoy it.
He'd be proving a point.
He'd be just proving a point to his executives for people that want to fight him. This is what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to bend you over. I'm going to rip off your clothes. I'm going to fuck you until you submit. That's what he's going to do to you.
He would just go right through the clothes. He would just bend you over.
His dick's got a steroid, so...
Genetic jackhammer. Like it's an actual jackhammer.
And surrounded by grapefruits.
Right.
A bag of grapefruits.
You're just going to hear this straight pounding action. He's hitting the table that's what it's going to be. A genetic jackhammer right through you. What's the sound?
Still not gay.
You don't have to be gay.
He would be after that, though.
I think you'd have to be.
Yeah, there's no turning back.
What was your reason to turn gay? Vince took his genetic jackhammer and put it in my ass.
Yeah.
So, this is why I really wanted to cover this match first, because by the time we were going to get to it, it was going to get to this point.
Yep.
But let's try to get serious for a
Sure.
moment. And let's actually break this down. This is a title match. Shut up,
You
Chad.
knew we would get to a genetic... What?
I said that I know this doing 19 fucking episodes of the Pinfall Wrap-Up, especially the 15 I've done with Rob. It always gets to a very point where it gets away from what we were talking about because the product is so bad that we don't want to talk about
It's
it.
the much, much more part.
Correct.
Correct. So, anyways, this match was... Sheamus, I'm going to say it. I hate using this word. He got fucking buried tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
He got fucking buried.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he got 3 moves of offense, and even his 2 bro kicks couldn't keep Reigns down for a 2/15/16.
Yeah. It was, it was the gimmick match that you would expect because, obviously with Vince McMahon being out there and him having the interest in the match that he didn't want Roman Reigns to be the champion no matter what. You knew you were going to get, the weird bullshit with slow counts when the face gets the cover. fast counts when the heel gets a cover, him turning his back when the heel does something illegal, all that kind of stuff. You knew that was coming. That being said, like, Sheamus never really got the upper hand in the match. And when he did, it was like for such a short period that it was like, wow. I mean, Vince kept the match very entertaining, but man, had Vince not been out there and they just did that with like a different ref, like they just had a heel wrestler come out and ref it or something, like Barrett or something, it would have been an unwatchable match.
Right.
Because it was just Reigns dominating the fuck out of him.
It's sad. It's like, I think Rob and I are in agreement how we like Sheamus, and I've always liked Sheamus.
Yep.
And it's like, here's a guy, and I said it I think 2 weeks ago. I don't think you were on the show when I said it, but a lot of people can get, because Roman Reigns is officially, you'd say he's officially like over now as a babyface, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's
almost there.
I compare it to, since we're in Wisconsin, I'll do a topical thing. It's like if you go out ice fishing, the lake freezes over. He's on that ice right now, but damn it, there's soft spots all over. He can quickly fall through.
Right.
Because he is, like, any misstep at this point, he is not on solid enough ice that he won't crack and just go under. Like,
Would you say he's way more over now than he was last year?
Oh yeah, he is more over right now than any point, I'd say, besides when the Shield turned face. So that was the last point he was at. I actually think he was probably more over when the Shield was face, like when they were doing the whole thing.
I think he was over as a face when the Shield was heel. He used to get pretty big reactions anytime he got a hot tag or any type of tag.
Possibly. I think you're right. I actually think you're right on that
I think Reigns, them turning the Shield heel had a lot to do with Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns is the only one who actually had a pinfall victory over Punk during that time. But anyways, what's I going to say about it? Oh, about Sheamus. Sheamus deserves a lot of credit. Sheamus is the guy who got Roman Reigns over as a babyface. You could say it was Triple H. You could say it was fucking Vince McMahon. But there's a guy that he wrestled, and it's Sheamus. And the match they had at TLC was good. The beating that Sheamus took after the match, that's what kind of propelled it. Sheamus, you saw the crowd slowly starting to cheer for Roman Reigns over the last, before he got the big push at TLC. And a lot of it has to do with Sheamus. Is it because the crowd hates Sheamus? Yeah, that means Sheamus is over as a heel. Which, any way you want to take it, the fact is, Sheamus is because they've given a lot of guys opportunity to get Sheamus over to get Roman Reigns over as a babyface. Bray Wyatt couldn't do it. Who else did he feud with? It was really Bray Wyatt all year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Big Show couldn't get him over.
They had 4 pay-per-views, and Big Show and him had 2?
Yeah, Big Show couldn't do it.
So that's 6 months right there.
Brock Lesnar definitely couldn't do it. Daniel Bryan couldn't do it.
A face is going to have a hell of a time getting a face over anyway.
He even tried to pass it on to him, like, this is the guy, and the crowd just wasn't taking it.
Yeah,
Rock couldn't get him over as a babyface. Yeah. The Royal Rumble when he won it, the way he won it, with Big Show and Kane being the final 2, that...
Which, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I sent you that link to the Vince Russo thing.
Yeah.
Word for word.
Is it?
That's why I want you to watch it. Really quick, Nuclear Heat from Vince Russo. It's on YouTube. Check it out. So,
okay.
It's his show. Damn, if everything we've said tonight hasn't been in line with everything Vince Russo says.
I haven't seen it yet.
And that's scary because I don't like Vince Russo, but god damn, his show Nuclear Heat, it's actually through Wrestling Inc. So if any of you are ever on Wrestling Inc.'s website, he does a weekly thing. Vince Russo does a lot of podcasts and stuff, but the one he does with Wrestling Inc. Is called Nuclear Heat. He's making a ton of the exact same points we're making, or vice versa.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. And Sheamus, got this guy over. He got Roman Reigns over as a clear-cut babyface now.
Yeah.
And I feel like he should be somewhat rewarded for it. like not be pushed down to the card to where he was, not being used as a piece of meat, but given some type of actual story after this Roman Reigns thing is done. Even if you're not going to put him in the match against whatever, but there's plenty of time left. Wouldn't he be a formidable opponent against Brock Lesnar, like at WrestleMania?
Sure.
If booked right, the styles would match up. Interesting.
Furthermore, they kind of need someone in the authority as their main guy. So in the meantime, Sheamus should be that guy along with his stable. So that kind of keeps the League of Nations relevant. But yeah, absolutely, Sheamus should be the one who is constantly in that title picture or right outside of the title picture. Not like Randy Orton was, a little more relevant than that, I feel. But yeah, I mean, he got Roman Reigns over, and furthermore, you have to kind of look at it like it was a blessing in disguise Rollins got injured, because Rollins wouldn't have been able to do it. It would not have worked out that way. It would not have worked the same way, because a lot of people wanted to see Rollins keep that belt, and no one wanted to see it go from Rollins to Reigns.
No.
So the fact that they were able to softly transition it through Sheamus, making Sheamus that transitional champion, have, pretty much, well, I mean, how did it go? It went Rollins, Reigns, Sheamus, Reigns. So that worked out very well. Very well for them.
Right. I would just like to see Sheamus taken more serious down after this is done.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
After what I saw tonight, I just don't
unfortunately,
have any faith.
No, it's probably not going to happen.
Kevin, you got anything to add?
I completely agree with both of you. I don't think it's going anywhere with Sheamus.
Give us something different. Give us a reason why.
Do you feel as though it would be possible to keep him like in the authority and all that kind of deal, or do you think once this is done, it's done?
I feel like the way they could write it is they could keep him, otherwise that Stephanie could just blow up and just be like, "We don't need you,"
Which buries him completely,
but
and would make him not even mid card at this point.
Don't you see it completely possible that it could go that way though?
It's possible.
I actually thought after the match that Vince McMahon was going to fire Sheamus.
I thought for a second too,
because he grabbed the mic and I'm like, no, don't do it. Like I thought,
right.
And then Sheamus would have came back eventually as a babyface, or would have disappeared like Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, they threw him in the back of a garbage truck and
never to be seen again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that our WWE portion of the podcast?
You
got something to add?
Roman Reigns retains.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
After 84 referees came out and yeah.
Well, this is the part of the podcast where we normally turn to Kevin's Corner, and we like to play our little theme song for Kevin right before we start.
Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind, and when you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line, if you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start to melt away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
All right, Kevin's Corner. Kevin, over to you.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And I hate to say it, but Kevin's Corner is going to be kind of short this week because NXT did a recap show of the best of NXT for the year, talking about the Kevin Owens arrival and his...
Well, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
All right, Andrew, let's talk about it. The first thing they showed was Kevin Owens congratulating Sami Zayn on his first championship victory and then beating the absolute shit out of him. How did you feel about
I
that?
thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a good time to get Kevin Owens into the business the way they should have done it. Him keeping him as a babyface was before the show kicked off, was thought that him as a heel works way better compared to all the stuff he's done in the indies. That's my opinion.
Okay. And then they ran it through right away into their championship match where KO had to have the match stopped because he powerbombed Sami Zayn 7 times and basically killed him. Watching this match, how did you like that match?
This is about your show. This is about what you want.
What did you just tell me to do?
Okay, fair enough. So what's your question? About what I think about the match?
Yup.
Good match. I thought that it was a good ending. It was nice to see Owens win off of something besides a pinfall or submission. It kept Sami Zayn kind of somewhat looking strong because he didn't get pinned or submitted. He had the referee stop the match because Owens was kicking the living shit out of him.
Okay. From there, it jumped Kevin Owens straight into the John Cena feud.
Good match. 3 good matches.
They actually jumped into the Kevin Owens win in the
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber match, where
That is probably nominated as Match of the Year, Owens versus Cena. That's when we do our award show. That'll probably be one of the matches that I think will win it, is the Elimination Chamber match.
is it because you're the host and you love Kevin Owens?
It has nothing to do with it. We're going to have a point system. It'll be legit.
Okay. After that,
I'm just confident that match is going to win it.
Okay. After that, they talked about how Charlotte could be considered the NXT breakout star of the year.
Nope.
I disagree.
Sasha.
Right. They talked about her title run, though, about how there was the torch passing between her and Paige or whatever. And then from there, they just scrapped Charlotte completely and went straight into the Iron Man match between
Which I still
Sasha and Bayley.
have not seen.
Really?
I have not seen that match yet.
Little factoid, Breaking Ground season finale tonight. We saw that on Raw.
Yep.
That's where they are. They're at that point in the WWE career.
I haven't watched any of that either. Breaking Ground. I think I watched a couple minutes of it.
And I watched 2 episodes of it myself. It's not bad. It's just I'm not highly entertained by it at all.
I'm
I
not
just
really
like-
crazy about reality shows just in general.
I just like the storytelling behind it to know what's actually going on
Yeah.
behind what we see.
What I like about the Breaking Ground show is yes, it's a reality show, but it's not a reality show in the vein of like Total Divas.
Right.
Where Total Divas is like shit, right? It's completely scripted. You know, the show is it's entertainment. Where the Breaking Ground, it's more like it's their lives and the camera's just there. So it's a little more. It's a lot more realistic. It is realistic. It's what is happening. It's just the camera's there documenting it. So it's them backstage. I mean, they still do cutaways to like interviews and that sort of thing. You know, where they'll have a situation that they videotape, and then they'll cut to Baron Corbin being an asshole because he's actually an asshole. And you know, like it's interesting how they show, you know, the different points of view and everything, and the struggles they all go through. So I mean, that's why I saw in 2 episodes. Again, I'm sure at some point I'll check it out. But
see, another thing, Justin, is for Kevin's Corner you can use, because you could use stuff that's going on the WWE Network, shows about it. Talk about how you feel about these shows, because this is stuff that Rob and I don't really watch or have time to watch.
mm-hmm.
And, you know, outside of preparing the podcast and that kind of stuff, you know, I don't watch a lot of stuff that's on the WWE Network. That's why you're here. And I'm not just I'm not like going directly after you. This is like constructive criticism, but you don't, because I know I kind of put you on the spot today, and I will apologize for treating you like an ass as far as that's concerned. The rest of it you deserve. But the that's my backhanded compliment. See how I did that?
I like it.
But like, you can use it as for the stuff that's going on in the network. Breaking Ground. You've watched all the episodes outside the one that's about to air. Every week, tell us what happened in the episode. Tell us not just what happened, what you thought of it. And then, you know, we'll chime in and like, oh, that sounds interesting. Tell us more. Stuff like that. Use it to cover if something big happened on SmackDown. that we didn't catch. We don't cover SmackDown on this podcast. Though I don't know if we ever will cover SmackDown on this podcast unless the views go or the listens go up.
I feel like we should cover it next week.
Right.
Because they do have the new announcer.
Right.
Who's starting, and I'm really curious to see like what that does. Like, it's going to be the first one on USA, so it's probably going to be a Raw quality, if not better than average Raw quality SmackDown. So I want to kind of we'll glance through it, but
right, and that might be something that might cover later in the week, depending on if it's a good show or not. If it's really good, I might want to make a second episode like we did, a couple months ago when we covered the tournament, where obviously I would probably cover that with Justin, just so like our 0.5 edition of the podcast. But as far as that is, the listen counts aren't really that high to begin with,
right?
And I don't know if I want to put that much emphasis into a SmackDown show, or so we just throw into the big show that we do at the end of the week.
Right.
But yeah, you're saying that NXT is going to have a reward show next week?
No, they went through it apparently off of like the normal NXT schedule. I haven't had a chance to watch any of it at all, but what's his name, Rich Brennan or whatever, was trying to like preview it last week.
Very underrated announcer, by the way. Rich Brennan. Pretty good.
Said it was going to be next week, but then I've been seeing like commercials throughout, watching stuff on the network that they've already done it or whatever, so I'm going to have to dig deep into the network, try and find where that went or whatever. But stuff like that, like you said, go back to the network and watch stuff and tell you about it. Right now, I'm just basically going back and watching old Raws to try and like see what I missed.
And that's another thing you can cover too. You can be like, I watched SmackDown 99. And have your notes ready, and we go over it.
I was going to say, I could just do a this day in history for what happened or whatever this week.
If they have it on the network. But yeah, that'd be interesting.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't have all the Raws on the network. I wish they did.
Not even close.
Right. They have a lot of stuff missing from 2001 and 2002.
Yeah.
they do.
That's where I'm at.
That's
I'm
the
trying
good
to
stuff.
watch all that stuff. Like, for instance, today, I watched the Milk Truck episode of Raw.
Yeah, that's a good.
Kurt Angle comes in, sprays them all, and then pounds pasteurized milk together and drinks
Nice
it.
thing is, with the age gap of everyone that's on part of this podcast, including Day Day and Jared, and even when Marcus does a couple of fill-ins. As far as that's concerned, you have Jared, who's a couple years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's 2 years older than you.
Okay.
And so his time of watching wrestling is different than my time watching wrestling, or Rob's time. Rob and I are kind of in that same boat. I think I started a little bit before he did. Day Day goes way back.
Oh yeah, I'm shocked how far he goes back. It's crazy.
So like if you take a Raw like from '99 and we just sit down and kind of not review it, but just kind of go over it, that's gonna bring back memories of myself, especially Day Day, and maybe Rob, depending on what year it is.
Okay.
So it's something that you can use for Kevin's Corner, or whatever we want to call the show going forward, if we still continue to call it that. I like the name Kevin's Corner. I don't know what you think of it, but I think it's pretty cool.
It's perfectly fine as long as we spell corner with a K.
We could do that.
Why are we spelling it with a K?
Because Kevin starts with a K.
In the homosexual Ku Klux Klan. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We can do that.
So
Absolutely.
now I'm gay and racist.
The Kevin
Whatever.
Corner Clan.
Nope, not okay. Don't like that name. Fuck off with that. Anyway, so otherwise, besides the NXT recovery, there is news reported through the WWE that they are trying to sign AJ Styles and a few other NJPW superstars.
I with the AJ Styles one, I mentioned that about a month ago that was a thing, because they mentioned him on one of those WWE Did You Knows on YouTube.
Yep.
I was going through and watched one. It's like, did you, like, guys that you didn't know wrestled for WWE?
Correct.
And AJ Styles was one of them. And I wondered why they would pick him out of everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is just making such a big buzz now because everyone's like, oh, look who AJ Styles just followed on Twitter. He followed Triple H today on Twitter. Who fucking cares?
That is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Is it, though?
Mm-hmm.
It's just following him on social media.
Yeah, but when you do stuff like that, especially with Triple H being high profile, it's kind of noticed. Because if you follow Triple H and you follow AJ Styles, it would then say AJ Styles now follows Triple H. It's I don't know. It's meant as a message, I'm sure. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor are pretty tightly tied together. So it's pretty much WWE taking another Ring of Honor talent, which is fine. Will they put them through NXT would be the question. Considering they did it with Samoa Joe, more than likely they will. Will they put Kurt Angle through NXT if they ever sign him?
Here's the thing. Kurt Angle was on Ring Rust 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
How was that?
It was good. They asked him the stupid question about, would you ever be interested in going down to NXT and working with some of the guys? And he said, no, that's WWE's minor leagues, and that's not something that Kurt Angle would do, referring to himself in the third person, which was kind of cool. But he said he's done enough that wrestling down at NXT isn't going to do anything for him, let alone the guys he faces. Like, what is that going to do? He'd rather it be on a bigger stage because it's not going to meet. He says he always wanted to wrestle Daniel Bryan, obviously, and he always wanted to wrestle CM Punk. Now, that wasn't, the Punk thing wasn't covered in the podcast, but it was a solid interview. There was a couple of things that, I don't know. I also read something about Kurt Angle saying that he expects to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. Like, maybe not this year, but soon.
Okay. Interesting.
And since we're on the Hall of Fame thing, is this the year they're going to put Owen in? Do you think they're going to allow it?
Yes.
Because I know his wife didn't want him in for a while.
Yeah, they're going to do it. That's why the DVD is coming out.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Owen, what's some other names you think are going to be on this year's? Who's going to get the celebrity one? Or they already announced it?
Oh, yeah, they do a celebrity one every year, don't they?
Yeah.
Who was last year's?
Like Bob Barker or something like that? Or
That was like
two.
it was Mr. T.
Yeah.
Because remember they made fun of the Yo Mama, the mama jokes?
Oh.
Because he said he wanted to thank his mom. He said like 70 times in his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
And he just went on. He went on like way longer than they wanted him to do, and it took away from the main thing, which I can't even remember what it was now.
Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior, yeah. Was he the main one?
Oh.
I don't think he was.
Who was that the year before?
No, Ultimate Warrior was this past year, but I don't think he was the main one, was he? Oh.
I think he was the main one. He was the last one announced.
No, I didn't know that.
It's kind of hard to pick a celebrity one for the simple fact that they had that one point in time where they had a guest celebrity every week.
Right. Did they put in the Raw anonymous general manager?
I say they do someone like Cyndi Lauper or something, if she's not already in there.
I think this might be the year to like maybe throw in an announcer that they haven't done yet, like Michael Cole. They haven't put him in yet. I don't know why he's not in. They put Jim Ross in while he was still part of the commentary team, and same thing with King. He's still part of the commentary team. They put in Booker T, but mostly for his wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if they're going to put a commentator in, I don't know how you not put Michael Cole
Cole's
in.
been there forever.
He's been there for...
98.
Yeah, probably longer than that, I think. 97 even.
So he's approaching his 20-year mark with the company.
Right. And he's been on commentary, like... He's
Since
always
99.
been always the go-to guy.
Yeah, he did fill in on Raw for like a year, and then he was a SmackDown.
And then, took JR's job, which nobody ever thought could be done. And I think he's done a solid job at it. He's doing what he's told. Is Paul Heyman in yet?
No.
He'll get in eventually.
No, yeah, he'll be in.
That'd be another one you could think about.
Celebrity, I could see maybe like Shaquille O'Neal.
No. He wasn't real, like, influential to what they were doing. He did I would probably be thinking more Floyd Mayweather.
That's what I was going to say next.
Than anything else.
They're not going to do more Mayweather.
Yeah. But, there's, like, other
Not
names.
with all the controversy about him beating women and shit. He's not getting it anytime soon, if at all.
Okay. As far as, like, the celebrity wing, I mean, not celebrity, but, like, the other wing, like, announcers, they also said they might do a referee one year. Like, they haven't decided yet.
Well, it's got to be Hebner.
Yeah.
Not
Teddy Long?
Maybe Teddy. Maybe Mike Chioda. But I don't think Earl Hebner would be the first ref. Just because of the... didn't he have kind of a falling out with WWE at the end?
Yeah, him and his son went to TNA.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be sour grapes there.
There's
Which is kind of unfortunate that they'll use something like that as a reason not to put someone in.
Would Neil Patrick count? Maybe.
He was a WCW ref. They're not going to do that. Because he was the WCW lead ref.
Right.
That was his whole deal. Him and Charles Robinson.
Yeah. Robinson I could see they might put in because he stayed with WWE. He's still with them now.
Yep.
And he's like the lead guy now.
Yeah, because Charles Robinson was their second.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick was their first. So he was like their Earl Hebner. And that's why he was vilified when he came to WWE.
Another interesting thing is you can name all the referees from like 2000, 2001 era. Like,
yeah.
I can name them all. You have Teddy Long. You have Tim White, which was like my favorite for a while. I hated Teddy Long as a ref because he always had a slow count.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Chioda, Earl Hebner. That's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anyone, like major. Outside the WCW refs, like Charles Robinson and referee Neil. Is it really Neil Patrick? Is that his name? Isn't that a different first name? Isn't it Nick Patrick?
Nick Patrick.
Nick, Neil, whatever.
Right.
Patrick.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Patrick is like the only guy who got like angle slammed and put an ankle lock and made him tap out at the end of a pay-per-view.
And Scott Armstrong, he was a wrestler in WCW, I believe.
Right.
At some point, so that's why you can...
Wasn't he on Raw tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they ever put, is Regal in yet? Is he one they're going to put in? Like, stuff like that. Like, I think this would be a good year to put maybe someone in, like, more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy.
Who's going to be the bullshit one that they put in? We got the pleasure of seeing one of the Bushwhackers at a BCW
Oh, God, yeah.
show. Who, they were kind of the bullshit inductee from last year.
Everyone goes to Coco Beware as, like, the bullshit one, like, ever.
Yeah, it's kind of like a horrible... Yeah, that would be like if they put in, like, Connor or Victor right now.
Or Crash Holly.
Yeah, Crash Holly would be... Well, he's dead. But, yeah, absolutely.
Or Hardcore Holly, even though I kind of like
Bob
him.
Holly was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I liked him.
He was, like, badass right up until then, too.
Val Venus. No, they won't put an Attitude Era guy in.
They wouldn't put him in anyway.
No, not after. You know what the stuff he does now is the weed smoking shit that he lives in Arizona or something like that. So, I don't know.
There's always the talk, will China get put in?
No.
I think eventually.
No, Stephanie McMahon's alive.
Well, when porn is not looked at as a... I think, as bad as the image it is now with pornography, which I've covered on this podcast before. Not pornography in general, but
So, Susie banged Jimmy. He came twice, and it's like, okay.
No, when we talked about China, about how I think her pros totally outweigh any of her cons.
I agree. She should be, no doubt, she should be a Hall of Famer. No doubt.
And not just that, porn's not illegal.
Correct.
She didn't do anything illegal.
Correct.
And therefore shouldn't be vilified for doing something like that. Where you put Hulk Hogan in, who, well, he didn't really do anything illegal.
No.
But, I mean, they've put guys in that
He's
are
just a scumbag.
like Ric Flair, who's been convicted, like have had more than one drunk driving incident, or just being publicly intoxicated. We'll put a guy in like that twice, but because he's a man,
And then put him on TV.
Or Jerry the King Lawler, who banged multiple 14-year-olds and paid them off. And there's a court record. Fucking allegedly, that's sealed court documents that
I'm not defending them.
And they're out of court settlements. Like, he paid them off.
Right. So, I mean, like, there's...
So pedophile.
So it's a double standard. And I think if it got enough attention, they'd put her in.
Yeah. I mean, she's done enough. Triple H's whole thing was, well, that was actually on his podcast, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The one they did with Stone Cold, where he said, well, you type a name in the Google and what comes up? Well, do we really want that image for the kids? Well, yeah, fine,
type in
great.
Lana.
Type in Lana and you're getting nothing but, complete, issue, not porn, but she's naked,
Well, it comes down to it. Pornography and doing porn is not illegal. But she's still being vilified. Why is that? Is that something she chose to do outside of pro wrestling because she probably got kind of screwed out of her job to begin with, for all we know? I'm sure they'll tell you a completely different story, but, I mean, she did... You talk about what Ronda Rousey's done. You talk about what Charlotte or whoever, Paige, like these women that are... Or even Stephanie herself that are featured in powerful positions. China was, like... kind of the first to really like push the envelope of what women could do in pro wrestling, if not in sports in general. Even though wrestling's a scripted sport, it was a sport back then, but it was a scripted sport. She's the first woman, the only woman to win a mid-card title like the Intercontinental title.
Uh-huh.
She won it twice. She beat Jeff Jarrett, and then she has a pinfall victory over Chris Jericho in their feud. She is the first woman to enter in the Royal Rumble. She is the first woman. I think she entered into a King of the Ring.
Wasn't she in a WWF Championship match?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's...
She wrestled against Triple H. And would have beaten him too if it wasn't for outside interference with I think it was DX. But like, there's a lot of things that she has done, especially for the wrestling business, and had nothing to do with wrestling women. She pushed the boundary as far as like combining a male-dominated sport and having a woman in that male-dominated sport and being taken seriously. I know when I was younger, I always thought as China as someone that could beat just about anyone on the roster.
Yep. And even on the rosters for video games, I don't know how it was on No Mercy,
right?
Because I was the WrestleMania 2000 guy, but on WrestleMania 2000... she is on the, like, they have the wrestlers, like, divided. You go through your rows of wrestlers where you have a page with 6 wrestlers, and you go to the next page, and you go to the next page. She was on, like, the second page, like, right there with, like, the top of the card.
Right.
The women were all the way to the very last page. And then you had, like, the old guys like Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe that were, like, right after the women. And then you had your default characters or whatever. But... she was in there with the men at the top of the card.
Yep.
So that's even how the company viewed her. Like,
she was a top athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, she was one of their top draws, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that alone, I don't care what as long as she's not doing anything like completely illegal. She didn't kill anybody, as far as I know. She didn't rape anyone. She didn't, prostitute herself out or anything like that illegally. So as far as I'm concerned, she belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's actually, it's a shame that she's not in, and she would be the top name on my list if I'm inducting someone in, outside of maybe Owen Hart. Well, I would induct China over Owen Hart. I think she was more important to the wrestling business than Owen Hart.
Especially if they're going to put in, like, Trish Stratus and Lita. She's, like, completely being ignored because she was before either of those two, and she did more.
Right, well, see, I can understand where you can argue Trish over Lita or Trish over China, because Trish did a lot for the women's division itself. China was never looked at a good wrestler for a woman. She was just looked at as a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she wasn't really part of the women's division. She was part of the men's division. So I can understand where, okay, Trish is like the first to kind of like push the boundaries as having great women matches, where China was just having good matches with anyone. Billy Gunn, Road Dogg. Jeff Jarrett. Those were great matches. I mean, she's had better matches than, a lot of stuff we see on TV today.
Correct. Absolutely.
And she belongs in there. And I wouldn't even say she belongs in there just because she's a woman. I say she just belongs in there because she was a major contributor, especially when they eventually put DX in. That's when she's gonna have to be acknowledged as part of DX because she was a major part of that.
Oh, that means Rick Rude is getting in too.
Yeah, but was he like considered a major part of DX, or was it mostly because he was
there for a while?
And X-Pac.
Well, X-Pac they already acknowledge as part of DX. When they bring back DX, they bring him back.
Yeah, he was on WrestleMania last year.
Yeah. But with that, I don't think I have anything else for this show. I think we're just about done. Patrick, you got anything to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Somehow I'm just not surprised.
Alright, that's like the 7th time you said that. Get a new line.
And as we do every podcast, end of every podcast, we pick a song from the Retar Crew to end with because that's just my new thing now. It's my flavor of the week. Which song are we doing this time? We're not doing the fucking stupid.
But it has meaning because I'm going to the game on Wednesday.
Nobody cares.
Blackhawks.
What are the Blackhawks?
Hockey team.
What is hockey?
White people sport. It's that one where they skate on little swords.
They skate on swords?
Ah.
Is that like you wish they were riding your sword? Or you wish
No,
your sword
actually not.
Oh, okay.
Don't make that joke because then Andrew brings up Patrick Kane shit.
Oh, about Patrick Kane being a flaming fucking... Anyway.
Not homo.
Rapist.
That one.
Oh, that one where... Yeah, because he, like, raped, like, how many freaking... Yeah, okay. That one girl that he raped over and over and was, like, sending threatening messages to her and stuff. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Now I know what hockey is and the Blackhawks and all that. Wow, my memory, huh?
I like how
Patrick Kane's a rapist.
I like how he gets acknowledged as a rapist, but Derek Rose rapes a girl and beats her with his friend and doesn't get charged with shit.
Because there was evidence of Patrick Kane. There was a rape that was committed, and there was a lot of shadiness that went around it. That the bartender said he never left the bar, even though he left the bar because the bartender's, he's going to stick up for his guy, Patrick Kane. The fact is, did he rape her? Did he not? That's not the thing. The fact is that they try to cover up the fact that she was even raped. She was raped. There was a rape that was committed. They say, well, there was no evidence of it. That's what a rape kit is for. And I can go into excruciating details about that topic, but, that's something for another topic.
Why do you know so much about rape?
I listened to 670 The Score. I listened to Terry Boers.
Patrick Kane is just a flaming rape machine.
Can you elaborate on that?
No, he's a serial pedophilic rapist. Alright? He hides behind his sport of hockey to mask his evil monster inside that just has to rape women.
So you're basically just talking out of your ass now.
I don't speak out of my ass. You want me to be in yours, though, and that is not okay. So what's our...
So yeah, talking out of your ass, wanting to be in mine. That's what I got here.
I kind of like that.
Fucking asshole. So now I'm racist and gay, but you want to fuck me in the ass.
I don't think we did.
You want me to fuck you in the ass. I don't want to. You want me to.
No, not even.
This isn't going to happen no matter what.
Exactly, that's the point. I'm not gay. I don't want you to fuck me in the ass.
Calm it down. I think we're going to go with jiggle and finish. Jig it and finish. Just based off of the conversations that's been going on. I thought about going with no homo, but I think we're going to save that because we're going to have a little bit more that comes out over the weeks and over the months about this like homoerotic fixation you have. But
I got called gay and I defended it by saying I'm not gay.
That's not a defense. That's just saying you're not. What's the defense out of that? I'm not. Great defense. You're guilty.
I like women, not men.
Okay, so here's the thing. If we went to court right now, and I said...
You have no facts to prove I'm gay.
I said you murdered someone. And I'm bringing all of these facts to the table, which I brought to the table tonight on the podcast. I'm bringing, fact. I'm just slamming you with fact after fact.
What
after
fact do you have that I'm gay?
Fact after fact.
What fact do you have?
We're gonna let the audience decide. I brought about 20 facts.
You brought no facts to the table.
Your intense, fashion line.
That is the only thing because you brought up Jericho's fucking petticoat fucking thing he wore.
Your rampant homosexual behavior that we documented on the show.
When did that happen? What the fuck are you talking about?
You're suppressing your memories and your urges. But, and then your defense is, well, I'm not. Oh, you're guilty. Anyway.
What
guilty.
evidence do you have that I'm gay?
We're okay, though. It's 2016 now. So I'm even more open towards your lifestyle than I was in 2015.
Yes, we know your asshole is open. We get it. Now shut the fuck up.
See, there he goes about wanting an asshole open.
Okay.
You're the one that...
You're digging the hole deeper. And we know you like holes and we know you like it deep. So we don't want any of this stuff.
All right. So with that concludes our podcast. I am your host, Andrew Caracci, alongside...
Straight Robert Roth.
And...
Evidently homo Justin Knapp.
And once again, the Retar Crew will finish it off for us. Not you, Justin. They're going to finish it off for us.
Are they going to jiggle?
Not for you.
Are they going to jiggle and finish?
All over your belly. So with that, you can check out Retar Crew on retarcrew.com. All their music is for free. They say all their music is for free because they're retards. They have a YouTube channel. Just type in the Retar Crew. I think that's what it's called, actually. Yep, that's exactly what it's called, and that's where I'm actually playing the video from. And with that, we are out of here.
And straight.
Jiggle and finish. Girl, you're sweeter than some cherry pie. I'd like to meet your grandmama, maybe she could tell me why. Despite what I rap, I'm a decent guy. Sent you a bouquet and box of chocolates every day. A southern gentleman, I was raised that way. It was the happiest day when you said okay. Gave me the honor and privilege of courting her. I never played with a heart, I'm supporting her. Reservation at Bobby Flay's, plus booked the jazz quartet. Cause I learned she loves fusion by Ornette Coleman. She took me home, then I told her I'ma love her till the morning. And then we started boning and I jiggle and finish. That doesn't usually happen. I'm sorry. You okay? It's not what she wanted, but all she got was that jiggle and finish. Yeah, things have been really stressful at work and my family, my car. It's all that I needed. That's why she got that jiggle and finish. Well, I've never been known for my abilities in the sack. But guess what? Tonight's my night. I'm gonna get it right. Cause this cross corner shorty is looking out of sight. Progression's working. She asked me where I live and I want her friends over. She said something's gotta give. You're too sexy, too perfect, too hot. And from the looks of it, I'm gonna get rocked. So I prepped myself, pulled out my extra thick latex. Thought about baseball. She said, I'm not with no safe sex. Then I kinda panicked. She grabbed me by my junk, pulled me into her, and I lasted one pump. She got my jiggle and finish. Oh God, you're so hot. You're so hot. It's not what she wanted, but all she got was that jiggle and finish. I mean, I got your number, right? Can I text you, or what should I do? It's all that I needed. That's why she got that jiggle and finish. Yeah, that's what you need, Joe. I don't brag about my stamina, but check out my libido. Ask at least 600 girls for their testament by my jig and bend, cause I know they can attest to it. So if you check out my sexual history, you'll see why at every party lots of girls are pissed at me. Cause they seen the JNFFO, man. The shit look like a half a second on Soul Train. And Modane's about to find out. But if it take too long to roar, man, I stay drinking this wine now. They'll never see it, I'ma last too many minutes. If I don't get back to Guinness, she gon' never find out about my jiggle and finish. Oh, that's my specialty, girl. It's not what she wanted, but all she got was that jiggle and finish. Double chicken fin, you're special. It's all that I needed. That's why she got that jiggle and finish. No, it's just, I sleep better in my own bed. Plus I gotta work in the morning and shit. I had been hoping for that all night. You were amazing. Did you
come?
Jiggle and finish.
This ain't even about you, it's about me. That's why I jiggled and finished all over your belly, making a Jackson Pollock on that ass. Jackson? Who's that?
Jiggle and finish.
That's awesome.